Hey guys, welcome to my G2 versus DAMWON VOD review. G2, the best in the West, Europe's treasure. It's an incredible all-star team. DAMWON is an incredibly young team. They weren't even a team in LCK until this year where they got promoted up. And they've been tearing it up. They are very much a topside focused team. I really liked how Kelsey Moser described DAMWON. So DAMWON is 2018 G2. They have strong solo lane, strong jungle, but a weak bot side. So yeah, 2019 G2 versus 2018 G2. Let's go. Akali ban. So we've been seeing this a lot. Akali ban versus DAMWON. TL also did it versus DAMWON. I'm kind of surprised that G2 did it because I think G2 is also an exceptionally good Akali team. Both Wonder and Caps are great Akali players, so I thought they would open it the first game and kind of see what happens. What happens if we play Akali as a first pick? What happens if we give them the Akali?
Showmaker. The big question for me is, will they also look to take away Canyon's Talia? This was something that he is very proficient at, offers a lot of dive value.
Really weird seeing G2 ban away stuff like Kiana Akali and not see them play it. But one thing I do think G2 kind of had a problem with was finding their identity in the group stage. They flip-flop back and forth between like this late game scaling team or this early game execution team. And also with finding identity, it's finding out which picks work the best for you.
And it's also something that G2 might not have an answer for.
And I think that Talia, especially in combination with
Pantheon ban,
who loves to play these engaged supports, has worked incredibly well. We
saw Pantheon ban standard from Red Side, no real comment.
Was brilliant for them against IG.
And Quinn ban means they're looking to first pick Renekton.
Be very creative in draft.
Quinn is like the one counter into Renekton Elise, Renekton Talia, Quinn with cleanse, so that's why the Quinn ban is happening.
You can see with the Quinn pick coming out from G2, heavily suggesting a Renekton first pick. DAMWON have to be aware that this is a possibility for them, and I wonder if they'll look to ban away the Renekton, or if they want to try and take the Rakan away from the bot side.
Renekton ban.
We saw from Khan's Quinn earlier today. Just miserable when the phase rush is there. So hard for Renekton to get anything done. Have to see if it's a different story though, as the final ban will come out and will be the Renekton, forcing a response out from the side of DAMWON.
I think Gragas really does kind of rise in priority in a game like
Xayah
this.
first
Already off the table. If you want to have the ability to get proactive early in that jungle, bring some AP from the jungle.
I think G2 could have gone with a different first pick. Like this is where I like the Akali open and G2 first picks Akali. Because even if they don't first pick Xayah here, I think DAMWON would much prefer to take Kai'Sa over Xayah. So yes, Xayah is a great pick for G2, but it feels kind of bad in terms of taking it as a first pick.
And also both of these teams can play the Yasuo-Gragas combination, both mid-jungle and as bot support.
Looks like G2 is going to focus in with the Xayah now. Wouldn't surprise me if DAMWON go for the Kai'Sa.
And DAMWON's just so comfortable taking Kai'Sa here.
AD carry. He looks the most comfortable on it, and as long as you pair it up with Beryl on an engaged support, this is a style that DAMWON is very comfortable on. They're very good at playing to the side of the map, giving Canyon an early game jungler that he can.
That's a lot. I feel like that's Canyon taking a comfort pick more so than picking the best pick. Yanko's really happy with the Gragas. Xayah, Gragas, Rakan. Really good opening from G2. I think Xayah's Perk's best champion, and I also think Xayah Rakan. I think G2 has the best Xayah Rakan. I'm trying to think if there's a better Xayah Rakan. Maybe Uzi Ming. But Perks and Uzi played Xayah in a little bit of a different way, where Uzi is just give me all the resource and Perks plays the map much wider. I haven't seen that much of Ming Rakan, but I know Mickey X Rakan's amazing. Probably the best Xayah Rakan team in the world. And DAMWON going with Kai'Sa KO. Because IG and DAMWON can't meet until the finals, and we saw IG play a lot of Kai'Sa KO. One thing I think we can kind of infer is probably DAMWON and IG scrimmed quite a bit, and both of them ended up with Kai'Sa KO. Kai'Sa KO, that level 16 unstoppable bomb.
Support as well as the jungle position. You have a scaling option here for Perks, and also one of the marksmen that has the ability to play make. And I think that is something very important for G2 to have on Perks, because this guy really is an explosive player. And when you give him that flexibility,
even I think the Nautilus band there is kind of decent, but I'm pretty sure Beryl is going to prefer something like Alistar Leona on top of Nautilus. I probably would have taken Leona Alistar band. Ride's ban, I think Ride's an incredibly good pick into KO. Makes a lot of sense.
Because while they have secured their ideal matchup, but now get to ban the supports away on the
Yasuo ban. Denying Yasuo Gragas from the mid and jungle.
And the Yasuo answers you might have seen into it are now being taken away. So G2's
Leona are all the star ban.
For those solo lanes.
Something like Vladimir, I think, can be very strong if you want to scale alongside that KO.
Camille
I
ban.
do think you can perform in the early game against it.
Why
I think
Camille?
That you can match and sometimes overcome the power that Kale provides in those late game team fights.
The Nautilus ban there feels so worthless if they're gonna just not ban the Leona, because there's two supports that are really good there in Nautilus and Leona. It makes so little sense to just ban one and give the other. Camille ban's also a bit questionable, but I think it's more me missing information. I'm sure they have a pick, but they don't want them to get Camille Lee. Why Camille Lee? What's so dangerous about Camille Lee?
It is something that is also just very potent in the mid lane. So for me,
Syndra,
it feels like G2 have pretty much got everything that they want.
The one thing that Syndra Jace does, Kale is a flex pick, and she can go either top or mid, right? She can go anywhere she needs to. But Syndra Jace just locks that completely, and she can no longer go anywhere she wants to. I mean, she can still go mid or top. It just, now she has two bad matchups instead of having just one bad matchup.
They have strong early setup, they have pretty solid scaling, but I really do believe that G2 is looking to go hard and fast in game 1.
Yeah, this seems like much more of an early mid-game focus.
Also, I think this game they aren't going to flex Syndra because they already have the Xayah. But I think G2 is like the only team that has two good Syndra players. I don't think any other team in the world has two really good Syndra players and they can really flex Syndra. Ooh, LeBlanc. So, maybe this is information you guys don't give a shit about, but I've been playing a lot of LeBlanc in my solo queue games, and I've been watching a lot of Showmaker LeBlanc. I think this guy is insane on LeBlanc. Probably one of the best LeBlancs in the world.
So certainly incredible engage options here.
So DAMWON Gaming's comp very similar to the comp that IG played. I forgot which support IG had, but IG also ran the combination of Kale, LeBlanc, and Kai'Sa in their comp. I think they had jungle Gragas with their comp. So what DAMWON Gaming comp is about is individual players playing really well and creating space for each other, and Kai'Sa just looking for that god tier Kale Kai'Sa. Kai'Sa gets the Kale ult, like goes in the middle of the team fight, gets the entire team Kale damage while doing free DPS where no one can come back into her. Like that setup, that level 16 Kai'Sa Kale team fight is so strong, and this is what that comp really is leading up to. For G2, strong lanes everywhere, and they still have good team fight setup. I think that's a really important thing in this meta right now, because there's no tanks. It's incredibly important to have good team fight setup and good engages, so even when you fall behind you can kind of try to catch up by engaging in a good way or picking people. If your team is just all squishies and kind of you only have poke and you don't have engage, I think that can be disastrous. The G2 comp is strong early, strong mid game, strong late game with good engage shorts. I mean, G2 drafted a really solid comp.
And I immediately want to jump into any level 1 potential plays, largely because when G2 get their hands on Rakan, they're always looking to do something creative with the pick, whether it be look for secret flanks or try to force all ins, and it might just be getting some vision on the red buff for now, so nothing too explosive in game 1.
They will get that ward down, and Mickey perhaps wanting to check things out over here by this blue buff, but relatively safe start to the game. It is just going to be a trinket ward drop. You can see Yanko's going back.
This is why it's so important to make sure your team has 3 syllables in their name, or you have to get this awful chant about let's go G2, let's go Liquid, let's go Cloud9. Like 3 syllable names are where it's at. Fnatic, Fnatic, TSN, TSN. Oh my god, this.
Have a bit of a laughing contest on the bot side.
I love the taunts.
Typically want to play through bot side, so by getting that ward on the red buff, you get an idea of what Kanyan's early game path will look like. Whereas G2, you expect them to start on the bot side, do a full clear bot, and then path up towards top early, because Wonder will have a wave that'll stack.
Oh, I didn't even see who placed the ward, but G2 knows exactly where Canyon is starting.
I think something DAMWON also may do.
Yanko starting leashless on Gragas, probably doing the Predator pass where you get the free camps and recall. For bot lane, it's really good to be early to lane. You'll have wave control until level 3 if you're early to lane, because you get the level 2, and then once you get the level 2 advantage, that means the enemy team can't fuck with you until like level 3 where the wave bounces back.
And be able to move around the map.
For now, Lee Sin is on the top side, starts the red, opts to go into the Raptors. Can look to go Krugs for a quick level 3. We'll see, though, where Canyon wants to put his attention. Expectations as laid out in Pick Ban are for the solo lanes. For now, Cap's taking the bad end.
Good trade from Showmaker. Ooh, Cap's trading a good trade. Cap's getting a good trade back.
So you can see that Canyon is going to go
Showmaker running TP. This isn't his usual setup in solo queue. Showmaker's usual setup in solo queue is Electrocute with Inspiration and Ignite. I feel like TP on LeBlanc is kind of meh. There's just certain champions like where you need to have kill potential, and that's pretty much your only job on the team.
The lane I'm most concerned about for both teams is this top side of the map, because it's actually in a pretty neutral state, and you expect both junglers to be pathing towards here relatively soon.
Wonder also getting pretty low here.
Canyon spotted out here.
So they are going to have the knowledge that Canyon is walking over to this
Canyon side. Knows that Jankos hasn't done this side because he knows that Jankos did the Predator start, or he guessed that Jankos did the Predator start. But pretty much every Gragas does the Predator start. Not possible. Not possible? Okay, holy shit, it looked like he was going in for a sec.
Actually look for a ward hop if Wonder got too low, but I think Wonder has started chugging a lot of these potions once he saw.
This is gonna be so important, this smite off.
Getting lower, but the kick has connected. Who's going to grab in the end? Canyon will take away the
Lee with the Q smite Q.
And
then the bot lane prio means they get Scuttle also.
Cannot support Jankos because Showmaker has good pressure in the mid lane, and because of a few favorable trades for Nuguri, he also had a wave set up top. So
it's not the end of the world for Gragas, especially because he's a Predator Gragas and he backed, and he's not gonna have that big of mana problems, but still a really nice start for DAMWON nonetheless.
It starts to snowball because the E is missing health damage, right? So if you do get hit by some of these Qs and you do get chunk low, the E starts to become way more threatening, and you can get in situations where you can maintain an early push.
For now, Wonder able to hold on to a little bit of a
wow.
lead.
Kill actually doing really fine in CS, and she hasn't used TP yet.
There, but the red pot going to feel very good for Nuguri as he gets back.
Damn, Kill J feels so weird for me. Because in theory, it should be Jace destroying Kale pre-6. But if the Kale does fine pre-6, the Kale infinitely outscales Jace, so why would people ever play Jace?
Will connect, but they're not going to follow up with anything else. Perk's very quickly running out of mana, however, has to be careful. Probably can only go for one more big trade here. Setting up over the wall.
Oh, this is a huge wave here, so Showmaker really does need to get it. It looks like it's going to be a move up to the top side. We have Nuguri under the turret. The wave is being set up here by Wonder. Jankos and Caps are
jungle on the other side, 3-man die.
Even if Nuguri doesn't die here, this is a fat wave that he's going to be missing out on.
Caps not spotted. Nuguri just going to back off.
Oh, that hurts so much. Look how many minions there are. There's 10 plus minions.
I think core of DAMWON's comp is Lee and the LeBlanc playing together and killing the Syndra. Especially because the Syndra doesn't have cleanse. But they haven't really played for it. Canyon invaded for blue and just been farming. That's something that Lee and LeBlanc have to constantly look for.
By doing that, he guaranteed a slight lane advantage.
They denied a lot of farm and XP from Kill with that roam.
Spend the money, and then he could look to TP in mid to set up that wave. Now, Canyon looking for a play bot.
Then we'll connect. Knockup is there as well. TP coming in. Now coming to the bot lane. They need to take down Perks. The Perks is flashed out. He's brought it back. And now they've been locked up. Barrel going to go down for first blood. Wonder is here as well, but Nuguri has joined the fight. Another TP coming
so
in.
Much TP
on the way. DAMWON commit everything, and they get nothing.
Oh my god.
Massive win for G2.
Another thing that's like really problematic is Kale's wave bunched up at turret, and now it's pushing away, and she TP'd. So she's going to be missing such a big wave. And then LeBlanc using TP. I mean, she was going to have to return to lane nonetheless, but it feels so bad for LeBlanc.
They get the kill onto Perks. They get double TPs
Kale's wave is
from
so
the
fucked.
DAMWON solo lanes, and DAMWON gets nothing back. And Nuguri's wave
and also Showmaker, like,
ruined. It's gonna be
I think the back is like a little bit awkward. Mercury first bite for LeBlanc.
This is going to get even worse.
When you go Merc first fight and you don't have Time Warp Tonic, you don't have Dark Steel, you actually run into mana problems too. Good lead on Zaya.
The teleport comes through. G2 are ready to respond and due to some beautiful play.
Just took so much damage and didn't have enough kill potential.
Stick around, tanking a lot of the damage, then using perks to get out.
Yeah, Kale's wave isn't so fucked. It's pushing away. Canyon not on top side of the map.
Out from Nuguri and Showmaker, and G2 now find themselves with a 1k gold lead.
And I think Nuguri had no business teleporting to that fight. You're a level 5 Kale. What are you really going to contribute there? And now he's going to be so massively behind as we see.
His wave
Wonder
is so
pick up
dead.
This huge wave. Nuguri is going to be way down in the experience, and it can be pretty difficult to play out a game from this type of position.
And if you're a G2 fan looking back at those Griffin games, seeing the way that Mickey was caught out repeatedly, that is exactly the start that you want in a best-of-5. As Caps now starting to pull ahead in some of these trades. But
I feel like LeBlanc's the worst as champion if you don't play for her.
Yeah, they certainly are. They're not
Like in pro play, players are good enough to not give solo kills to LeBlanc, and a lot of the kills are just off of LeBlanc and good jungle setup. And they have incredible good jungle setup right now, LeBlanc Lee. When Lee hits level 6, Lee and LeBlanc can set up for each other. They could set up for each other pre-5 also. Lee getting the slow, LeBlanc getting the chain on top of that.
That level 6 mark. He has the kick available, and it's very easy to
It's really weird that Canyon didn't go mid once. Oh, this one's a kill. Jace no flash. Jace no flash. Give it to the kill. Give it to the kill. I really would have liked it if he gave it to the kill. Yeah, but they're not
in this 1v1, but Wonder
doing anything for mid lane.
No flash available, so Canyon elects to go top lane and does punish that, and that is going to help Nuguri to stay alive in this lane.
Does give an avenue though for Jankos, knowing that he's isolated on the bottom side, that can force a 3v2 situation. But Nuguri and Beryl are not going to take the bait.
Oh, it's so weird to not play for LeBlanc.
Critically, Jankos isn't 6. I'm not sure how close he is. He just got it off the minion, so now they're going to go.
Oof, good flash. Oof. Oh my god.
Good movement.
What? Nuclear what?
Force 2 flashes out from DAMWON's bot lane.
Wow, he could have done it a simple way, where he flashes the Gravifold and gets knocked back, and then he'll take damage, but he did it a risky way, where he'll take 0 damage, but he has a chance of dying, depending on if he doesn't movement dodge the Gravifold properly. What the hell?
Oh, okay, never mind. They've just changed that. They want to try and get the push in, then go for an early base.
See what items they can pick up for now. Perks and Canyon neck and neck in terms of the overall gold value. Canyon has been having an incredibly solid early game performance. 57 to the 41 CS of Jankos, already finding that kill on the top side. You're going to have to respect that warrior Lee Sin, so strong at this point in the game.
And again, look at the positioning of Nuguri. He recognizes that people are missing. They
Jankos top side. Ugh.
Oh, we see a fight bot.
This is so weird. They last picked LeBlanc, right? They counterpick LeBlanc. They counterpick Syndra with LeBlanc. And the Syndra has priority and Caps is roaming so much. Oh. Showmaker's actually getting outperformed. He's not having way priority. And Caps is actually the one roaming first.
He's going to find the knockout. Canyon's on the way down. The ultimate now coming out from Mickey. He's going to try to retreat. Perks with no flash available, but does have the ultimate. Canyon will not connect.
Also, Canyon not playing for mid lane at all is so weird.
Perks waiting as long as possible to do so. Showmaker on the way in, and now Perks is vulnerable.
Are you gonna go?
Canyon, is he gonna
4v2 dive, 4v2 dive. Where's the kick?
Coming in. They will not find the snare onto the LeBlanc, and Perks, that should be it. He should be dead, but the heal comes out. Perks is still alive. Mickey's still holding on the kick.
Oh, Beryl.
But Mickey trying his best to
oh,
back.
They could have done that. What is it? 2 for nothing.
Finally finding the players bot that they wanted to make.
They're losing so much top side. And Nuguri shifted to mid lane to make sure he has farm somewhere. Oof, 40 CS at 10 minutes for kill though.
Trading sides of the map, trading summoner spells, and it looks like in terms of the gold, G2 are going to come out on top.
I think they're going to come out way on top. Look at all these plates. The solo first turret gold is going to go over here to Wonder.
I mean, it's not that big of a deal. LeBlanc doesn't get ahead because DWG Gaming's win condition isn't LeBlanc, nor is it even LeBlanc split pushing. Their win conditions team fight later on with Kill and Kai'Sa, but it seems a really weird way to utilize Showmaker, who is probably one of their best players.
time and
like
time
Showmaker's only job in this game.
Difference.
Oh, I thought his job this game would be 2v2 really hard with. What's he doing? Nuguri is straight trolling. Straight trolling.
And that's it. The Kale knocked
Whoa, whoa!
the flash out to safety, but the barrel just for style points to finish him off.
Oof, just die. Just go peacefully. What the hell?
Obviously doesn't want
go
to
peacefully.
There, though, so once Kale flashes away, you just take it as the Gragas.
And if we just look at the state of the map right now, G2 has so much more control because by taking down the
but anyways,
tower,
to speak about
opens up Wonder to start moving around the map.
I mean, last pick LeBlanc. LeBlanc was the absolute last pick. It was the purple side last pick, and I feel like they're not getting anything out of the pick.
Starts becoming this roaming death duo. They will group up together.
I mean, it's a LeBlanc we've seen, so they could have played for the 2v2. They're not doing that. LeBlanc getting outlaned by the Syndra. Syndra's roaming so much.
Let's keep our eyes on Wonder. We'll throw down the empowered shock blast. You'll know that this is happening at control ward as well because it's going to lose information as Perks is just going to start breaking down these tower plates though. The Rift Herald really only going to guarantee 2, so Perks happy to make this trade as he'll be able to grab a few for himself. Mickey now poking his head in, just trying to threaten, but there is no backup there. Jankos has opted to use this time as a back, and DAMWON going to make up for a little bit of that bot.
DAMWON wants to use it instantly. Lee never wants to be holding Herald.
Just try to play where you are strong. Try to play away from G2 because G2 is in such a commanding position on that top side of the map right now. You do not want to have any sort of a fight.
Looks like one of
Wonder.
Yeah, it looks like LeBlanc's first roam. She W'd over the wall.
As you rightly said, good
this is her first roam.
Why
would you do that? Why would you do that? Wait, if you're trying to gank him, why would you fucking hit the plant? Wait, I don't understand. Were you coming over here just to hit the plant, or were you trying to gank him? Wait, what the fuck?
We're talking a lot about ebb and flow back and forth, and it just feels like G2 have been coming out ahead in a lot of these trades, largely just because it feels like
the rationale should be he's only there to like hit the plant, because the moment you hit the plant, the gank is dead.
When you are playing up against a Kale, there's so much pressure on the opposing team to get something done.
Kale is out of game though. It's gonna take her a while until she's back in.
During the last series, when we were watching Lucian into Gangplank. And I think that G2 have really shown exactly how you can create those advantages, even if the Kale player is playing smart and not dying in lane. Nuguri actually never died in the top lane, but got so far behind.
It doesn't matter if he didn't die, he might as well die.
Because of how
He's
they're
just
timing
so far
their roams
behind
with the mid and jungle. And I think this is something that is really beautiful to watch from G2 and so well orchestrated.
And what does it mean for the mid game? Well, DAMWON now don't have that many options because the Kale hasn't even completed the first item yet, whereas G2 have so much gold on top of Wonder, and at this point with a single item, both Caps and Perks feel very strong. It just gives G2 a lot more freedom to set up for the Drakes, siege up onto the mid tier 1, and it's up to DAMWON to play more on the defensive. They have to slow the game down a little bit now because
DAMWON waiting until next dragon, DAMWON just trying to farm up, but G2 picking up turrets is huge.
To be able to turn this one around.
And to be able to do that, they need
so
to
much
make
gold
sure
for
that they're
early
at least
game.
maintaining some level of vision. Because if you see all vision on the
Kai'Sa at least going for the 2-item power spike with the
it's a very dangerous place up
Storm Rager plus Rage Blade. So the difference between Storm Rager Rage Blade and Manamune Rage Blade is with Manamune Rage Blade, with the third AP item, you unlock 3 upgrades. But you get delayed on your first 2 upgrades for a bit. But on the other hand, for Storm Rager Rage Blade upgrade, if you buy those 2, then you get the first 2 upgrades very quickly as soon as you finish those 2 items. So it gives you an earlier power spike.
Now they need to hold the line. Now they need to survive. And so far they're struggling. But without a mid lane tower broken down yet, it's hard for G2 to further snowball this lead. And
hang on. Oh,
the mid turret and the next Earthdrake are the biggest contest points. And that's where G2 is going to look.
The games for DAMWON, something that they were very good at was punishing the mistakes of their opposition. And they would get large early game leads thanks to Canyon, and then coming into the mid game, they would find these opportunities where they would punish, and they would rely on Beryl to force these engages.
In terms of identity and in terms of like the speed that G2 is playing at, I would say this is their normal pace, maybe a little bit slower. Game isn't as kill heavy as normally I see from G2.
The accelerator and just completely slow the game down, set up a lot of defensive vision, because right now we're seeing a lot more defensive vision on the map, and it seems like DAMWON are going for more of this defensive approach.
I think the plan is going to be play away from
this
the rest
Earthdrake
of this game until Kale gets to late game.
Kale has TP.
If Kale
probably better to give. This fight's nearly impossible. Syndra level 11, yeah, just give. And let the Kale farm.
And the Kale from the picture. And I think DAMWON will feel comfortable to take those types
Let her
of
farm.
fights. But they have to make sure that they're never in a position where the Kale and the Jace are involved in the fight, because in those
Kale level 11. Don't do anything until Kale level 11.
And inevitably, then we have to look at the duo currently on your screen, Showmaker and Canyon. Showmaker doing fine, relatively even in the mid lane. Canyon with a lead of his own. So maybe they can make some picks. Maybe they can slow down the game. There should be some options. You have a LeBlanc, you have a Lee Sin. You can still one-shot someone.
Oh, I thought he didn't get that blue.
And we saw them looking for that over by the blue buff, but Mickey was able to suss it out. He was able to detect the—
Why do I call Mountain Drake Earth Drake?
Because if you do face check,
because I'm a fan of Avatar, The Last Airbender. Earth, fire, water, air.
Miserable situation to play against, but
and I'm not gonna let Riot brainwash me into calling it Cloud, Mountain, Inferno, Ocean.
Now Nuguri has to be careful. Wants to break his tower down, and won't be able to do so.
And that is because, again, they got vision on this upper side of the map. You can see all the wards in the river that DAMWON have actually committed, and that is trying to—
Wow, Showmaker did nothing with LeBlanc so far.
Lee and
LeBlanc feels so bad.
The map, Wonder, you don't get to play League of Legends. You have to back off now. The shoe is on the other foot.
He has Luden's Mercs, but he has Luden's Merc in such a bare-bone way. It feels so naked to see LeBlanc with Luden Merc. No corrupting potion, no dark seal.
Just kind of put Wonder in this situation. It's like, well, I have to catch this wave, but I recognize that my entire team is on the other side of the map. And you can see now Yanko's hovering around.
Next one, another Earth Drake. Ugh.
Very safe. And I think that what we'll now see is Xayah look to push up.
IG, or not IG, excuse me. DAMWON needs to fight for that one. Can't let him have him for free.
Look to try and threaten this tower, because now with the plates down, it should be a lot easier to siege. And with the amount of poke that comes out from a Syndra and a Jace, it should be possible for G2 to be able to take this tower down, and then they can start pushing their vision further up into the enemy jungle.
And I think that's a great idea, because if you land
level 11 very soon on kill. And she'll easily hit it before 3 minutes, so she'll have it up for Earth Drake.
Threaten to dive in and finish off those kills.
This is the first fight where DAMWON probably should take, and they can't afford to give anymore. Hopefully Nuclear can get a second item before then too. Yeah, it's going to be around 20 minutes. He should definitely have 2 items before 20 minutes.
That DAMWON can't necessarily see coming.
You also want to threaten a flank, and you can see how Perks pushes up bot and then moves in with Mickey into the jungle. This forces DAMWON to respect that a dive could happen, and now they find the pick.
What the hell? Wait, how'd you get caught there? Damn, Caps got moded. He clipped him out of the air with the... But that's kind of like the shitty thing about LeBlanc. Your wave clear is WR, so you put yourself in danger a lot to wave clear. Oof, 2 mid turrets just for trying to wave clear.
And they will turn it into another tier 2 tower. Beautiful play from G2 Esports.
That is 2 turrets, and it's just going to be a TP back to defend their tier 2. So Kale not really able to answer too much here. The only thing DAMWON got was a bit of farm on their carries, on Nuclear and Nuguri, and they lost both mid lane turrets, which is going to mean they're going to see control.
The LeBlanc actually hasn't done anything this game.
Around that barren area, and that is so problematic when you have these champions like Kale who are not very safe and need to get farm and experience.
And it's one of those things where we talk a lot about how G2 know how to balloon an early gold lead, and it's because while they are known for their skirmishing, their individual players, they're also very good at recognizing how to play smart League of Legends.
Well, next thing is kill level 16.
This is what G2's going
to do. No, that Earth Drake is still coming up. Never mind. The Earth Drake is the next thing.
A very obvious play that DAMWON did not respect. And it's largely off the back of this early game advantage that G2 have built up for themselves. And now DAMWON really have to avoid trying to fight. They've now got the Gunblade onto Nuguri. They have the Luden's Echo on Showmaker, and the best...
Right now doesn't feel like a great timing to fight. Look at the item difference between Showmaker and Caps. A full Void Staff ahead. I'm surprised Caps went Void Staff so early. So Syndra is one of those champions where Void Staff isn't that great, and stuff like Oblivion Orb into Death Cap is really good because she has extremely high AP ratios. So I don't think he needed to go Void Staff at all, and they don't really have anyone on their team that could be stacking MR.
Hard because of the gold deficit that they find themselves in. So like, I honestly just feel
they can do this. Oh no, never mind. Wait, they can go top. Oh no, never mind.
And that's the power. Once you break down that mid lane tier 1 tower and you get to put all this vision in.
I mean, 3 Mercs is nice, but it doesn't really matter in terms of big picture.
Make sure the Kaisa can get the wolves without dying.
But it's also just about how
it's a nature retreat.
It's about how G2 are using their pressure that is so impressive to me, and look at how they maintain full river control across the entire map. And
river control.
Jace will push up top. He'll start walking down.
No wonder you're so good.
And then they can just set up for that objective, easy peasy. And I wouldn't be surprised if G2 also look for an early Baron, because that's the best way to force DAMWON into an early fight, which G2 is very confident they can win.
It is, and this double mountain will set up really well for that, because now all of a sudden you have to respect the threat of that objective going down even more quickly. This is just
dragon up in 10 seconds, but they don't have anyone near it. They're sacrificing it. G2's so happy. They're getting to farm 3 lanes, push it in, take dragon whenever.
Jungle, get full vision in that area, and the drag hasn't even started spawning yet.
So the only thing that G2 are now worried about is the risk-taking
Ding,
nature
ding,
that
ding,
DWG
ding.
has. They are known for
one
doing
dragon,
20-minute
one
barons,
Earthstrike. They
and
can
now
do
they're gonna
Baron.
try and force it.
Risking a lot here. Nuguri though, level 12. Love the divine judgment, but
And if they were gonna do this, they just needed to get ready to counter-engage with Leona as
Because of the
G2 came
situation they
nearby.
find themselves in. They know that after G2 take Mountain, the Baron is the next play, so they're like, maybe there's a small window where we can sneak this one away, but G2 have too much vision.
Barrel committing the flash there, trying to catch Wonder, but not rewarded with anything. And I respect the attempt, right? You go for that. If G2 is 5-man on the dragon, sleep at the wheel a little bit, you get that Baron, hey, you're right back in it. You have to take your shots at plays like this, but as soon as G2 sees you, they can just split up their numbers.
That one's slowly losing.
The rest of them can harass around that Baron. And a 20-minute Baron does
They're waiting
so
for the
much
bigger power
damage
spikes,
to a
but
team.
I feel like they're giving up so much in the process.
You can't just really do it in the face of your opponents.
Perks is at 2 items, while Kai'Sa's at 1 and like... Oh, Kai'Sa's actually at 2.5. Perks is at 2.5 also. Okay. Not bad for Kai'Sa.
Yes, you normally associate him with picks like the Vladimir, but the Kayle is still that late game powerhouse. If they can get to a stage where they can stabilize the game and puts a lot of pressure on G2 to close out as quickly
Oof, that was scary.
It is possible that they can get into that stage, but as you get further and further behind in gold in the matchup, it kind of pushes that point where you can take over later and later into the game. And normally, Kayle kind of turns online at 2 items. In this game, I think you're probably going to need 3 before you're really becoming relevant in that 1v1 against Wonder, and that's still going to take him quite some time.
As U2 fish for a play there, we can check in on Wonder's build. Has opted to go for the tier build into the Mount Immune, into the Black Cleaver, so will still be much stronger than the average full lethality Jace on 2 to 3 items.
So look at how G2 have now abandoned bot lane. They do not care about this tier 1 tower. It doesn't matter. The gold, irrelevant. What they do care about is utilizing numbers advantage to force their way into the enemy jungle and setting up vision.
They're basically saying G2 can't do Baron fast enough by splitting here. If we can hold you guys 4v5, looks like that's actually true.
So it's the job of the rest of the
DWG being able to hold them 4v5. This is really good for DWG. They also have wards in the back of the pit and the scuttle.
On the top side of the map, utilizing that teleport.
See Showmaker,
no one die, no one die. Let the kill push. And the Lee also shadowing the kill. Gonna be able to kill Jace whenever he goes bot side. This is really good. I love what DWG's doing.
And this was huge for
Lee coming,
DWG
Lee coming.
they actually didn't buy
Lee still
bait,
coming.
right? They stayed down there. They held onto the TP.
Go towards the Lee. Go towards the Lee. Or not Lee, holy shit. Wait, what? Lee. Wait, what?
Stayed down. And this was huge for DWG because they actually didn't buy the bait, right? They stayed down there.
I think it's so troll that Kayle decided to stay in here and port. And also the fact that Lee started running away. Kayle easily could have gotten killed here, and they could have also just matched the 2v2. And if rest of Griffin start Baron without the sword, or oh my god, I keep calling Jace the sword. If rest of Griffin, oh my god, if rest of G2 starts Baron without the Jace, then after they kill Jace, Kayle can TP over.
Onto the TP. Nuguri's gonna have to get out if he could.
I think they really should have just sandwiched the Jace and killed him. Kayle plus Lee would have been really good at killing Jace.
He misses the blast cone over the wall and the shock blast into the brush. He's going to be scratching his head when he looks back at that one after this.
That can be game changing. If you get caught there and you kill, G2 may have had the confidence to actually start a Baron and try to
G2
really
clearing out the
challenge DWG. Instead, he gets to take the tower for free. He's actually closing the CS gap quite a lot. He's hit his 2nd item. And he's going to be feeling really, really good about these last couple minutes.
Now pressure once again continues to be on G2 to try to find a setup, to try to get something done. Maybe the Baron is an option for them, but do not want to just go in 5v5. The double mountain, not enough to make sure that they get untouched by the Baron in the coming fights. Don't have that true tank with this composition, so...
G2 fully cleared out the wards. They're keeping DWG in the dark. They also have 2 Earthquake too.
And you have to give so much credit to this 4-man squad of DAMWON, who have been doing a really good job maintaining vision, not getting engaged on, not getting caught out, because it's not as though G2 doesn't have great engaged. They have the Gragas as well as this Rakan, and many teams in this kind of spot.
G2 doesn't want this game to go any longer. They want something to happen before Kale hits level 16.
The game, but they have really been holding the line.
Kale level 16 really huge. Jaya 3 items. I think Jaya 3 items is gonna come right now.
And also buying so much time for the Kale.
So my theory is that they're waiting for Perks to hit his next item, which I believe should come through any second now.
There we go, Kale 3rd item.
So this was the moment that I think G2
had a few more W's there.
Because you've now got 3 items on the Jace, you have 3 items on the Xayah.
Alright, this team fight gonna be hella fucking important. It's gonna be game deciding.
Any fight that DAMWON take
Pre-Kale level 16, 3 items Kai'Sa.
This is when I expect G2 to be a lot more aggressive. And again, we see Wonder grouping up with the team. Even though his TP is up, they want to leverage the fact that they have 5 people. And the wave, I believe, is slow pushing in the bot lane as well. So G2 are in a position where they're saying, alright, DAMWON, no more stalling, no more slowing down the game. Time to fight or time to lose.
Perks even just grabbed his red
buff. Oh yeah, 3 items Xayah now Kai'Sa.
This is about as strong as you can be at this point in the game.
They're forcing some recalls out. Showmaker, of course, has the team.
Oh, LeBlanc's just so weak.
Maybe the Banshees to come out just to give him a little bit of safety up against
LeBlanc this late game, no pink wars. Banshee plus Luden. Not an actual champion.
Still has the dance to get out to safety if he needs to make his way out, but TP forced out, meaning G2 are feeling pretty comfortable. No surprise flanks going to come in unless Nuguri wants to get real aggressive on that Kale, and that's the start to the Baron.
This Baron.
G2 just trying to body block.
Just doing it. They have the double mountain. Look how quickly this is going down.
Baron, though, is going to sniff this one out. They are going to pull back. They're just baiting.
This time, DAMWON on the right side of Baron and G2 on the left side. So when G2 gets off of Baron, DAMWON should be able to get the Baron map positioning. Oh, starting on Perks, use the ult. Leaving it dying pretty quickly. Nuclear going in. This is the Kale combo that we talked about. Perks kills Canyon. They're able to kill Rakan and Gragas. This kind of fight is really good for DAMWON. 2 for 2 trade. Even trades are so good. Just keep even trading. Even trade, even trade, even trade. No one gets Baron. That's so good. 3 items on Kai'Sa. Kai'Sa caught up now. LeBlanc's worthless, but that's fine. We're gonna, like, DAMWON's gonna be depending on Kale or the Kai'Sa to be able to carry.
It was a snap engage here from DAMWON. I'm actually surprised they decided to opt
in
this
fight. This guy is just all about engaging and like playing lead support. Nautilus, All-Star. Wait, what am I saying?
And you can see at the end of the fight.
Hold, let me reset. Oh my god, I'm so tired.
Members were and how close that fight could have been.
And of course, that and your what's your move replay. Brought to you by Axe Gaming. The move was survive. Hold on. The KO will be more powerful, and if fights keep going even, eventually.
Alright, let me re-say what I meant to say. So even trades are so good for DAMWON. Kai'Sa caught up in terms of items, and also Kale is consistently scaling. And it's not that G2's comp falls off later. Jace does slightly fall off, Syndra does slightly fall off, but Kale Kai'Sa, like that level 16 combo, being able to ult Kai'Sa as she's going in with her ult is just so strong. And later on, team fights matter more and more. And having the better team fight comp means you get more free Elders, more free Barons, and yeah, DAMWON's team fight is going to go like crazy in terms of team comp. G2 setting up a pick. So like, this is called shadowing whenever one solo laner is following the other solo laner, and shadowing when both people have TP is really good. If anyone shows up here, they insta-die. If no one shows up, or if someone shows up here and they start Baron, both of them can TP to Baron anytime.
Where things are going to get tough. You can just straight up start winning those 1v1s very comfortably through short trades against that Jace. When you have a Lich Bane, 1Q plus an E auto with that Lich Bane proc can really chunk out someone like that Jace. So it does get difficult, and DAMWON have bought so much time that this gold lead, I think, means very little at this point for G2. It's going to come down to execution. They have not yet been able to find the forces on the kind of fights that they really did want.
And one of the
oh my. Don't do it, don't do it. No one's showing up Baron. Where do you think they are? No one's showing up Baron. Where do you think they are? No one's showing at Baron side. There, you kind of have to make the judgment from the information that's missing, right? If both the Syndra and the Jace isn't showing, then where the hell are they going to be?
We're going to push in bot. We have a big wave. Now we're going to force you to choose because G2 can two-man the Baron with Yanko.
They can't even go to the Baron side and start it. Because one, they don't really have a good tank, and two, they have double TP.
For DWG. So Showmaker shows down here. G2 can actually start up the Baron. And they have kind of checkmated them at this point. They're threatening the Baron. They have no one that can answer this, or G2 will just do it for free.
What? No, G2's trolling. They can't do Baron. What the fuck are they doing? Only 3 people at Baron. What the fuck are they doing? They're actually just trolling. Wow. They cleared 2 turrets and an inhibitor in like between just one person dying.
Not only were they able to find a pick onto Nuguri, but many teams would just commit to Baron and say, hey, we're 5v4.
They hold them from getting back to inhib. They can't go for the inhib. They can wait to start.
We have double mountain. We have Xayah plus Gragas, who've already proven that they can melt through this objective. So let's just actually keep the map split and force DWG.
Okay, I'll give you guys this. It didn't matter that much if they started or didn't start Baron.
So they end up losing their bot.
I don't think they were in danger by starting Baron. I guess there's a slight danger of the flash Leona engage, but they weren't taking that much damage either. I think they would have gotten an inhib regardless if they started Baron or not, and they can just wait at Baron in case they recall. I think people recalling is also not bad for G2 at all. If people finish off their recall, then they can just finish the Baron.
The problem that G2 is still going to find themselves in is that they don't have a dedicated tank that can just sit there and hold on to the Baron, which means they need to either find a good fight or a good pick. Which means DAMWON, they're actually, it's not the end of the world. Yes, they lost their bot inhib, but Nuguri is going to keep farming up. He has good wave clear. He still has his teleport available. So the responsibility still falls on G2 to force a play, which always means that DAMWON, as long as they play safe and patiently, are still in this game.
Okay, I'll explain it because chat doesn't understand. When you start Baron that way, there's a very slight risk of Leona being able to engage with flash ult or flash E. And if they get that engage, then that play that they were doing fails. They can wait until they back, or they can wait until they see people in vision where they know for a fact they don't get engaged on, and then start Baron.
And a level 16 Kale eats those super minions alive. We'll see if they want to fight here. Showmaker is pathing down, but DWG want to maintain control of this mid lane.
And you can see both teams playing at the edge, trying to stay out of max range of either side's respective engage options.
Take the turret.
If they had vision and they were completely safe, then it's a no-risk play.
G2 will have first access to the Baron, a massive wave pushing bot side. Nuguri does have TP, but these supers will need to be answered.
Wonder on the wrong side. Wonder on the wrong side. This is the Kai'Sa kill that we talked about, that level 16 combo. Oh my god, those feathers at the end. What? Taps TP for a turret?
As he overstayed, super minions will come down. G2 will be forced to back away. DAMWON Gaming will stay alive for now.
But we're now seeing how these fights are going in DAMWON's favor. The Kale is doing so much. Beryl can stall for so long, and the combo of Kai'Sa and Kale in the late game is just so difficult to deal with.
The critical mistake there was Wonder separated from the team. He was looking to actually play interference, but as soon as they spot Wonder here, they know he cannot now join.
This kind of fight is so bad for G2 because one, they're on top of Baron, and they're like really bunched up, and being this bunched up is really bad. And two, they're in a position where, they're getting caught rotating like off of Baron, and also Jace is out of position. This can go really badly.
Has to run the long way around, so
Beryl got actually a really clean engage off. Syndra having to use her E initially on Leona feels really bad because Syndra wants to be denying the Leona, Syndra wants to be denying the Kai'Sa, and Kai'Sa getting the full engage. Oh, that Kale damage.
The Kale ultimate with this AP Kale dealing so much damage in the backline. By the time Wonder gets there,
these feathers finished off Canyon. That was so big.
Most of his carries have been shredded, but that feather pull there from Perks getting an additional.
And people are saying they're gonna do Baron if you look at the state,
most of his carries
Barrel, Showmaker, and Nuclear Live, they can't do Baron with this. I think Caps TP just to finish off the turret.
But that feather pull there from Perkz, getting an additional kill, may have saved them from losing a Baron.
So close, and you can see the pressure that G2 is in. They have maintained such great control pretty much for the early to mid-game portions, but they have not been able to secure this Baron, and without the Baron, it is very difficult for them to end the game, which means DAMWON have just been playing patient. They've been buying their time.
Kill ult damage is actually really big. That's something a lot of people don't recognize.
As they knock on the doors of another inhibitor tower.
Hard forcing mid lane, opening themselves up to a flank. DAMWON Gaming though, we'll just pull back, we'll just defend the inhibitor. Big chunk of damage down on Nuclear, but G2 taking control for now. It only gets harder in the upcoming teamfights. Have to execute flawlessly, or they will find themselves outscaled.
I mean, we said this game was gonna. We said this series was gonna be close, and both these teams are demonstrating.
The Kai'Sa's so scary.
Individual prowess is fantastic on both sides, and now that Showmaker
Kai'Sa's so fucking scary right here.
Also cannot afford to be underestimated. If she catches you out of position, that's going to be a dead, or at the very least a chunked out target. But G2 now on the Baron.
Mickey now pulling back, Wonder doing a lot of damage to Canyon.
Canyon got chunked. I don't think they can contest the Baron.
Has been getting stronger.
I don't think they can contest.
Can they get this one? Canyon make his way. Can he be the hero? But he flashes in and maybe to his death. G2 will take the Baron. They'll take the jungler too, and now they're gonna look to.
They're gonna lose so much from this.
G2 finally get the objective they have been fighting.
G2 can force the game-ending fight here.
With the Baron buff and with Canyon dead.
No Lee Sin is huge.
On DAMWON's Nexus.
Also, Leona not having flash means DAMWON doesn't have a good way to engage.
Supers are crashing in on the bottom side.
They want the end. It's only one Nexus turret, and it is a 5v4 with Baron.
All eyes on Showmaker, Nuguri, Nuclear, Barrel. Can he protect them? Will it be enough to stop G2's onslaught as they push in? The Baron buff backing them up as they move in. Barrel fishing for the engage.
Wonder kind of trolled. Oh, it doesn't matter. They're too strong.
Nuclear to the backside. The Kai'Sa is big, but not big enough.
Fight's over. 4v5. Leona can't engage.
Moment of pause before the game will end. G2 coming through. Showmaker and Canyon will not be enough. G2 going into the fountain as if they could do anything else to end the game. And in style, G2 will close out game 1 in this best-of-5 series.
I think this game was a lot on Nuguri. Nuguri got caught out so many times just being like by himself in lane, and rest of his team had to do so much to keep buying time for him. And even when he like rest of his team bought time, like him getting caught out in that one bot situation and G2 just running over all the way in like bot lane and making that highway ended the game so quickly and just put DAMWON in a situation where they couldn't really do much. So DAMWON actually outscaled in terms of team fighting. DAMWON had the better team fighting comp. Like level 16, 3 items on Kai'Sa, 3 items on Kayle. Like that comp in the meta probably beats every other team in team fight. But the problem is, even if you're stronger than other people in team fight, G2 has map control. And when G2 had map control and they pushed DAMWON out of mid lane and their bottom inhibitor was open, G2 forced DAMWON into a situation where they aren't really getting that straight 5-on-5 team fight, and they're actually getting situations where G2 gets Baron first, where DAMWON has to keep making risky moves to try to get little vision. And then I'm sure if the game went on, G2 probably would have forced the same situation at Elder, where DAMWON doesn't have vision, where they have the stronger team fight, but they really can't get the stronger team fight. Like they can't get the full-on 5v5 fight because they're only engaged as like Leona, and when Leona doesn't have flash, her engage is actually extremely obvious. So it was really important for DAMWON to play cleanly to make sure they can get to the level 15 scaling point as fast as possible and as safe as possible, but also not losing the overall map control while getting to that state. But G2 just took so much that they couldn't get to that state in the map or they couldn't get to that state in the game where they were stronger in team fight and they also have decent enough map control. Alright, let's go next game. Alright, on to game 2 versus G2 versus DAMWON. Interestingly enough, G2 on blue side again and DAMWON on red side. So both are, not both, the system that's used for best of 5 is when it's played in Europe, the Europe best of 5 system for seeding, or not for seeding, for side selection is lose your picks. So G2 would have first pick on blue side, or first pick in terms of what side they want to be. And then game 2, DAMWON would have side choice because DAMWON lost. And then game 3, whoever lost would have side choice, and so far onward. As for NA setting is higher seed gets side choice for 1, 3, and 5, and lower seed gets side choice for 2 and 4. So G2 is the higher seed and DAMWON's the lower seed. So DAMWON would be picking the side in game 2 anyways with both system. And yeah, so DAMWON actually going with red side. A little bit interesting. So for this world, red side has been so valuable. Even with needing to permaban Pantheon, I think it's because pick 3 and pick 4 and pick 5 on red side is extremely powerful, and because there's a lot of flex picks. DAMWON was the higher seed? Wait, how was DAMWON the higher seed? Did they flip coins or something? Oh my god, they are the first seed. You're right. Holy shit. Oh my god, I just defaulted to G2 being higher seed and DAMWON being lower seed. But G2 actually got second in groups. You guys are completely right. Holy shit, I'm Pepega. Oh my god, I actually fully Pepega. No, you guys are right. DAMWON's higher seed. So DAMWON picked red side for game 1 and G2's picking... G2's actually opting into blue side for game 2. Alright, let's start. Anyways, so chat is completely right. G2 opting into blue side.
One moment with Nuguri. DAMWON matching them, giving them the respect they deserve.
We'll have
to see what changes. As once again, G2 are on blue side, but the Syndra will now be taken away.
Now, Syndra is something that DAMWON actually often ban. They really don't like playing against it, but because they were forced to ban
Quinn ban, looking for the Renekton again. Oh my god, Xayah ban instead.
They had to leave it open, but now
we're gonna get Renekton Elise or Renekton Leah.
And this time G2 are gonna get themselves
oops, holy shit.
It also signifies that I think they...
One thing that DAMWON can do here is if they pick away Elise, then they can deny Renekton Elise. And I'm not gonna make the assumption that Jankos is very practiced on Taliyah. So that's something they can go for here. Deny Elise, make them play Renekton Taliyah, not Renekton Elise.
Want to go for more of a counter matchup in that mid lane. Syndra, very safe, blind, pickable mid laner, has strong early game, good skirmish 2v2 in the mid game, and Showmaker is someone who loves to dominate against these melee matchups, so perhaps trying to force caps into something
no.
he feels he can counterpick.
I would be very surprised if DAMWON don't go for the Elise right now, because you're just asking G2 to take it.
Oh,
what?
2v2 in the top
wow.
side of the map.
Kenya must feel so comfortable on Lead to not deny Elise Renekton.
The Jace is still open if they want it,
Jesus.
so they can even grab it and have the double flex between the two solo lanes.
Exactly, it's his flex here. This is really risky to be going up against, and DAMWON's going to have to be on point.
DAMWON needs to pick Ornn on 3.
Of
Renekton Elise into pretty much anything, even Ornn.
Sort of an answer.
Even Ornn is like really hard versus Renekton Elise.
The Ornn, the return of the Ornn horn.
If you want to go defensive, if you want to try to play it on the back foot, you can go that route. There is also the more risky scaling options that we have seen come out from Nuguri. He loves Vladimir. I do think it is so scary playing it early game into Renekton, but if you can survive, that is something that you can really start to take over later on.
And also importantly, G2 one of the few teams in the tournament that we can see reliably flex mages into the bottom side. So with the Jace now being locked in, you have to feel like DAMWON need to be prepared for a mage and AP damage threat on the bottom side of the map if G2 Esports want to look for it. You know as they lock in this last pick, that's what they're going to be thinking about in the second ban phase.
And we did get to see G2 bring out a mage once in group stage. It was Zoe coming out. Didn't work out for them in that game, but you know, I do tend to feel it was more down to the execution of the pick than the fault of the pick itself.
I wonder now what direction DAMWON are going to go. They're actually picking up the Rise.
Whatever they pick top lane, it's going to get busted wide open. Renekton Elise.
I believe that you could put the Rise into either matchup. I think it's relatively safe. I know that both Nuguri and Showmaker more than happy to play this. Can be a very effective carry in a side lane. Right now we're seeing pretty
I feel
good
really nervous about whatever top lane pick they have left.
But the early game's still heavily in the favor of G2 Esports.
I think that it could go into either matchup, but I do think the Rise is going to want to play mid lane here.
Yuumi
I think
ban.
it's so dangerous to
Why Yuumi ban?
Early game.
Do they expect Garen Yuumi with this comp? Actually, Garen Yuumi's not bad with this comp, because you're going to be playing purely for top side. Yuumi's actually a decent ban.
Against the potential Renekton Elise, the threat of the dive there, the threat of getting picked off when a wave is pushing out away from you is so
why would they even pick Kale? Kale would get murdered.
Almost too careful to really make it worthwhile.
So I'm just gonna float the idea by you both. This could
Yasuo
be a
ban.
Jace bot lane. Just a maybe. I'm not saying it for sure, but we know that.
I think Jace bot is really troll.
Like
Why the hell? I think people shouldn't play Jace bot. I think Jace bot is just really
it's
troll.
something that DAMWON have to also recognize, and I really feel that they should save their final solo pick until the end. They should lock
Or actually, no.
right now.
They should support an Ornn on 5. Support an Ornn on 5.
Maybe they just go for comfort in
I'm
Barrel.
surprised G2 didn't ban Ornn.
An easy engage tool, something he's very comfortable on, and it allows you to play through bot lane.
I think this is one
Cannon.
of the scariest parts about going up against G2 is you always
Cannon.
have in the back of your head, where is this going? What if it's going bot lane? What if it's...
So the thing that DAMWON opted into is picking 2 counter picks for Renekton. So even if Renekton goes mid, it's bad versus Ryze. Even if Renekton goes top, it's bad versus Kennen. But Kennen top versus Renekton Elise can get blown up.
Is a triple flex. And you kind of sometimes eliminate the red side advantage because of that. Because red side has these required bans.
So it's, oh wow, it might actually be Jace bot side. Or it's decent into Ryze. I think Jace bot lane's still troll though.
Right?
I mean, that's
really hard to know.
And this is why they're holding on to support as the final pick. They need to see what's coming in through on the bottom side of the map. And now Mickey could just lock in the Alistar, good to deny it away from Barrel, and additionally, whether it's a Jace or an Orianna, a lot of synergy with the composition that has already been put together.
So I think DAMWON, I hate to see it, but like a Braum could work here. It would be very defensive, but I think it is a pretty good matchup into the Alistar.
Tom can't play 1-3-1.
Another hard engage option in the form of Leona.
Leona into Alistar isn't the
not
best.
a great matchup into the Alistar, especially in lane, because every time she tries to go in, she literally just gets punted back out again, and it's a very difficult matchup to play.
While I do agree in the lane, it can be very difficult. I also think that you have pretty good threat onto champions
Jace bot lane
like
versus
Jace,
Kai'Sa
like
Leo.
Orianna, with that backline access when you're coming to mid and late game.
I feel like Jace is such a level dependent champion. Jace bot lane seems so troll. And they're not gonna have that much kill potential either.
Of a Lee Sin kick, of the Kai'Sa ulting in over the top. So that is the kind of style we're looking for. And DAMWON, I do think, are going to leave the Ryze mid lane as expected. It's just too dangerous playing against potential Renekton Elise in a long lane. Kennen can handle either side of these
Ori
matches.
bot,
Right,
Renekton Jace.
Renekton into the mid lane, Jace to the top.
Now the Renekton pick is garbage.
Bottom lane for Perks.
Bot lane. Here we go.
Renekton pick mid versus
really
Ryze is now garbage.
Actually, the early game for Perks and Mickey X, because when you are playing these mages bot, you need to be able to get to that lost chapter recall. You need to be able to get to
Well, the whole point of Renekton first pick is for Renekton Elise top side. For Renekton Elise mid lane.
Otherwise, it can get very, very difficult.
I'm expecting Cannon once again to be looking to play through bot lane. When he has this kind of a bot, he has a tendency to look to play through this lane, and I wouldn't be surprised to see Showmaker look for another roam. We saw the play last game. I think it's how DAMWON like to play the early laning phase, and the problem is...
I think G2 kind of outdrafted themselves. I think if they kept it a little bit simpler, Renekton Elise top side, and then pick something like Varus into Kai'Sa, like a lot of the other teams have been doing, I think that would have fixed your draft so much instead of trying to opt into like this.
Game 1 going in the favor of G2 Esports. This game they're flexing.
Yeah, this draft feels weird.
The strength known on this team, and on the opposite side, DAMWON once again forced to respond, forced to do what they can to weather the storm of G2. But they've got
Elise can focus mid, but the problem is why Renekton Elise is so strong is 1, it's guaranteed kill almost every time in top lane, and 2, in top lane it's a lot easier to stack waves and force people to miss a bunch of CS whenever you dive them, and also you can Elise is an incredibly good champion for diving, and it's much harder to dive mid lane than it is to dive top lane.
As to what Canyon is up to in the early game, and notice the positioning of Perks and Mickey as well.
It's just way stronger top side than it is mid side. Let's say this, if like for some reason, yeah, and then Ryze running cleanse. Cleanse mid is viable, cleanse top lane is much harder to run.
Will recall for his sweeper, same exact play as last time. Do note it is cleanse for Showmaker, so he's in the shorter lane on the Ryze and has the cleanse.
Let's say this, if Renekton could only go mid lane, and for some reason, like, Renekton was perma-banned from going top lane, he would not be a pick that's like first picked or like banned at all. The whole point of like Renekton is the fact that he's so strong topside with Elise and Talia.
And that's going to be a very difficult position for Showmaker to
Klepto cannon. This is actually not that bad of a cannon or Klepto game. You don't have a champion you can farm, but Kennen doesn't really have good masteries that he can use. The other masteries are stuff like what? Ares, sometimes people run Grass. None of them are really that great for Kennen, so I don't think Klepto's that bad.
Well, something that you guys were talking about with regards to summoner spells is that Perks is actually running
Phase Rush is really weird because like
I think what's important about this is when you're running
you
against
enter and then you use ult and then you use Zanya, so like you don't want to be mobile.
If her flash is down, is very dangerous, and that's why I think the Alistar play, the Alistar pick, is also very important because if he ever leaves this
Electrocute's hard to proc, so they're just Kennen just doesn't have good
jumped on top of, and it's something that I think
yeah, Kennen just doesn't have good keystones to run.
Especially in the early game, where Canyon usually likes to play around bot side.
It's going to be really fun to track how they perform with these phase rush rune choices here. You can see Wonder took it, Perks took it. Not only does it allow you to kite back and forth to chase people down in team fights, but it's also very helpful at actually
Ori Alistar is interesting. Really strong in team fight, but not that great in lane.
The Zenith Blade, the Rise Qs, the Lee Sin
I think a big part of running mages is they're stronger than AD carries in lane, and I think Ori is actually one of the champions that strong.
He could be in trouble.
Level 3 Elise, Nuguri level 3 of his own. Trying to proc the stun and still will connect. Nuguri now going to be in trouble.
Wait, what? Oh my god.
The tower, and that's going to be it. First blood for G2.
This is just him straight trolling. One, why haven't you warded? Why have you not warded? Like, one, he hasn't warded and it's versus an Elise. And two, he didn't use flash to dodge Cocoon.
Round on Nuguri, he could be in trouble.
Level 3 Elise, Nuguri level 3 of his own.
Why didn't you flash?
Still will connect. Nuguri now going to be in trouble. They're going to try to run him down into the tower, and that's going to be it. First blood
Jesus.
for G2.
And it's just clean and simple from G2.
If you get hit by the Cocoon, you're dead. Don't flash. If you either flash before the Cocoon, or you don't flash at all.
Early game damage that this Elise Jace combo does have, but now Canyon, he wants to try and answer back.
Caps.
Oh!
But he's under the tower. The Sonic Wave will not connect.
Wait, how?
Canyon, he wants to try and...
How do you miss that? Oh, he's below 200 and auto. Oh my god, 177. That's a kill.
That's disaster for the side of Damwon Gaming. And Jankos is on the way in. Canyon still under the tower, waiting for that cooldown to come back up. Using the Rise as a highway for escape. Jankos will not find the Cocoon.
Some critical misexecution.
Shouldn't have died top side. Shouldn't die, or should have gotten the kill mid lane.
Who is rooted up? I think it was a range issue, but also, yes, it was a good gank from G2 up on the top side. But Nuguri should be able to flash that Cocoon 10 times out of 10. It was in vision.
Yeah.
That should be his flash force and nothing else. You flash that Cocoon, you should be full health, and then just chilling, waiting for your jungler to help you push out the wave and reset it. Instead, when you flash after the Cocoon, not only do you
they know you're there.
your summoner is wasted, and the repeat gank is so damn easy.
Caps, though, gonna find the stun on Elise Sin. He is not back yet. He does not have the challenging spike.
Auto.
Canyon now going to be in
W.
trouble. Caps is gonna commit the flash to it, and he's gonna get it.
What the?
Back yet. He does
Also, Caps is kind of trolling here. Why doesn't Caps use W?
not have the challenging spike.
Why is Caps not using W? What?
Canyon now going to be in trouble. Caps is gonna commit the flash to it, and he's
Wait,
gonna get
is it bugged?
It's a clean kill from Caps in the jungle.
And now the action doesn't slow.
And he's gonna in. He is not back.
And the repeat gank is so damn easy.
Okay, it's bugged. Never mind. The cooldown is bugged. The cooldown is bugged. Okay.
Caps, though, gonna find the stun on Elise
No,
Sin.
he used it at the
He is not
start.
back yet. He does not
I was
have the
just
challenging
wondering
spike.
why
Now
the
going
why
to
the
be in
cooldown
trouble.
wasn't
Caps is
going
gonna
off
commit the
here.
flash to it, and he's gonna get it. It's a clean
Yeah, no,
kill
there's
from
no way
Caps
he
in the
doesn't
jungle.
use it. It's just
Now
a
the action
visual
doesn't
bug.
slow down as we see trading in the bot lane.
Re-engage coming in. Aftershock will fade away shortly. They're trying to push Nuclear out of this fight. They want to buy a bit more time. Mickey.
Yeah, this is what I mean. Like, Ori Alistar is not that strong in lane. G2 bot lane actually dying to the Damwon bot lane.
Nuclear set in the sights of Jankos. He will grab one barrel next on the menu. G2 still trying to come out on top, but it's Caps over the wall. He might just find it.
Yeah, Caps could maybe get him here. He doesn't have the flash. He's going to look to use the slice on the Gromp, so he has the dice available.
Dice in. Oh, that's going to be it. Ruthless Predator Barrel just has to pick who he wants to give the kill to, and it looks like Caps not going to grab it because Wonder is there to grab it in the end.
Still,
Caps is actually so good about roaming.
From the DWG bot lane, they get a double kill on their Kai'Sa in a 2v2 after disaster struck elsewhere on the map. The failed play on mid lane. You're
It's like an overall G2 thing, but G2's so good about moving on the map. Like, they did a lot of little things here, like Jace TPing bottom, Cudge Jace TP'd bot, Ori TP top to catch, and while that was happening, or before all that was happening, Caps was roaming with the lead he had instead of resetting for a better play. Like, holy shit, they just do such a good job of moving around the map.
Jungler dies, your top laner dies. So not only does this give them a lead in the bot side, it gave relief for Nuguri.
Also, I think this is Caps' best tournament yet. If you consider like playoffs also a tournament, like Caps usually has like 1 or 2 games that are really off, but Caps has had, at worst, I think his worst game was that Cassiopeia game versus Griffin. Even that game was like decent. It wasn't like shitting the bed. It was other people shitting the bed and he was like forced to overplay. But Caps has done such a good job of like just being consistently good and passing his lead on to other people.
We don't have time. The diving mid lane. The diving mid lane. Here comes the Alistar. Here comes the Ahri, and Jankos is in position.
Caps has to roam because he can't lane versus Showmaker. I think that's a meme. I don't think that's true at all. Oh my god, darkness from both angles. People trying to kill you from both angles. But also, it's a Renekton versus Ryze. Like, the goal for Renekton is either kill the Ryze, which is really hard to do because the Ryze has cleanse, so he should be roaming. There's no reason he should stay in lane.
Perk's still walking in. Flash comes over the wall. Jankos going to try to find this one. Canyon.
Staying in lane is one of the dumbest things Renekton can do versus the Ryze.
Out, or it could have been disastrous. DWG Gaming with a good response to the play overall.
So, what happened in the initial bot lane play was that Perks and Mickey at early levels, they overstepped. The early game damage...
It is true, the Renekton should roam. The Renekton should not stay in lane versus Ryze.
When you pair it up against an Orianna who, without items...
But I don't think that comes from like his laning abilities. It comes from just like, it's a champion problem. Like, Renekton versus Ryze is not a good matchup.
Multiple teleports, and they also stacked a lot of pressure in their own lanes. Look at the mid lane CS difference and the actual mid lane XP difference. Showmaker has 2 to 3 whole waves above his lane counterpart, equalizing the gold. And while Caps has now hit level 6 and a gank happens.
Dash out. Where's the dominance going to come through? Canyon being chipped away at. Caps doesn't want to commit the ulti quite yet. Jankos on the way in. He's trying to bait the patience.
It's impossible for Renekton to beat the Ryze. Especially when Ryze is running cleanse.
Clearly he already knew his limits, let alone test them.
Limits tested. Already tested in advance.
But you can see the swap back, and while it was pretty good, the way in which G2 reacted to the whole map and how they used the TP top to keep Perk still relevant in terms of farm, notice that Nuclear still has his TP up. Nuguri's TP is going to be coming up before that of Wonder, which means that DAMWON, once they hit that inevitable level 6 mark, could look to set up another play in bot lane. And the important thing to note about that is that Perks has no flash, which means DWG can continue to funnel resources into Nuclear and rely on him to be the primary win condition of this team, because the scaling on DWG's side is still very good.
I also think that Wonder is going to have to be very, very careful with this bounty on his head as Lee Sin hits level 6. When you have that Kennen and Lee Sin combo with both ultimates available, if you are heavily pushing as a Jace, that is something where you can get locked.
One thing I'm a little bit surprised by is Elise not killing Kennen again. When Kennen almost has his flash back up, when Kennen died by using his flash, and they dominated topside, I thought they would just keep going topside over and over again. It would have been so free to keep killing Kennen.
Down by the Kennen stuns, and if that happens, it's a free Q, easy kick. But it is this G2 bottom lane that they are looking to try to play around here. Jankos has the XP.
I think if bot lane didn't die, Jankos would have looked for it again.
Going to be looking to see if he can make them pay.
And the headbutt pulverize combo should result in a guaranteed shockwave if G2 execute correctly. But Cap's now walking a little too deep into enemy territory, waiting for Jankos to come over the wall. Cocoon.
Oh my god.
Canyon trying to play safe here. It's just going to look to dash back out. Good positioning coming in from Showmaker.
Wow, that was actually so godly. Holy shit, how did he live there?
Mickey now roaming down. Nuclear ready to ult in if necessary.
That would
for this.
What the hell?
Walking a little too deep. Headbutt pulverize combo should result in a guaranteed shockwave if G2 execute correctly. But Cap's now walking a little too...
Wow, he has no vision. He doesn't know Jankos here. He knows Caps might be here. Caps early ult building rage.
For Jankos to come over the wall.
Misses the cocoon.
Will not connect. Canyon
Q.
trying to play safe here. It's just going to look to dash back out. Good positioning coming in from Showmaker. How much more do G2 want to commit?
Yeah, they know Caps is here, and he had to kind of guess about Jankos.
Ready to ult in if necessary.
That was so critical because if you kill Canyon there, that's your Infernal. And G2 may elect.
That was so good for him to live there. Kind of lucky. Because Caps dashed in when he was dashing out.
And that was just like a sixth sense from Canyon. He did not have vision on Caps, but he kind of sussed it out. He felt like someone might be in there, so he steps back, dodging the out-of-sight cocoon.
I mean, one would say dodging, Other could say Jankos missed, depending on what side of the coin you're on. But you're definitely right. I think Canyon's awareness of not facing that brush was very important, and it allowed him to ultimately get away with his life. G2 are going to use this opportunity to get full vision control around the bot side, and great respect being shown by Nuclear and Barrel right now as the collapse is coming through.
Rise coming in, bringing the Lee Sin along with him. Jankos needs to make his way out of safety, has to flash. Mickey there to body block any follow-up damage, but Nuclear goes in. The knockup is there over the wall, but Jankos goes up. He comes down and he gets knocked out.
The counterpunch here is so big for DAMWON because we talked about G2 could have taken that Infernal. Now it is DAMWON that have the priority. Nuguri has his teleport. That is a big advantage for them as well. So I don't think that G2 can really afford to contest this. Nuguri can just start walking back towards top lane. If G2 ever commit, you TP in and you have that 5v3 right now.
It's all thanks to that ward just above the Drake that spotted Jankos out moving into the enemy jungle, which allowed DAMWON to set up for the collapse. They found a very important pick, and they will actually find themselves now with a very small gold lead. DAMWON playing this early game beautifully. Oh, okay.
They spotted him.
He's actually going to get spotted out on that ward just above, and he thinks that he's the one setting up the trap to dive onto the bot lane, but it is in fact DAMWON that are coming to collapse on this fight.
And it's impressive how quickly they collapse, because it's not just the bot lane coming up, Canyon immediately running over to Showmaker, utilizing that Rise ultimate to come piling in, and that is
Rise getting kills really good. Rise and Kaizen need all the kills possible.
Down on that bottom side. They had 4 members there, but when all of these DAMWON members show up and burst out Jankos, there's no fight that can be continued after.
Just good from DAMWON to not see them lose their cool after a few of those plays went wrong for them early on. Only about a 300 gold difference.
This Herald is so contestable.
Looking to grab the Herald, but it has now been spotted out by the control ward. Cap stepping down. A lot of skirmish power on the side of G2. DAMWON Gaming, though, aren't concerned. They're willing to burn the TP. The cannon ult has to be respected, and G2 backing off, but need to be careful. If they step into the
cannon on the other side,
everything could turn around.
And you just leashed it.
DAMWON Gaming know that they have the team fight advantage, and they're just going to grab that objective.
And Perks just didn't have his teleport. It's coming up right about now, so it would have been
they just literally leashed the Herald.
Play for G2.
DAMWON also have priority on mid, which means they can immediately drop it and look to get a bunch of these teleports.
This is so good because
yeah,
the person that has to defend is Perks, and Perks rather be bot lane. Like he rather so much be bot lane, like getting plating, but no one else can really defend because that's a huge problem about having a melee mid laner like a Renekton. Like other melee mid laners that commonly get played, like stuff like Zed and stuff like Talon, at least they can clear from a distance. But champions like Renekton, Kiana, they suffer so much when people use Herald or people group up to push. You need other people to help you to defend.
Clear and hold the lane.
G2 maybe hoping to fish for a play. We'll find the knockup. That's gonna be
oh wow! Wait, how did they get that engaged?
G2 maybe hoping to fish for a play. We'll find the knockup.
Really good engage. Showmaker didn't get one shot though.
He's knocked out. Barrel trying to disengage. G2 still
power
losing 2
cleanse.
will not get anything else in the exchange.
Doesn't matter. Long as Showmaker doesn't get one shot, they don't have anything else there.
Shot blast will not be enough. The flash away from the command attack.
So G2 mounts a successful defense, 3 versus 4. With a clutch shockwave and a flash in from Mickey, they almost found a bunch of kills, but G2 don't quite have the itemization yet. They don't have the damage, which means DAMWON, after burning a couple of flashes, are able to get away to safety.
G2 committing a lot of resources to that play in the end. Perks once again TP-less. Luckily for him, Caps and Wonder do have theirs, and Mickey and Caps threatening into this mid lane will grab at least 1 plate. Sticking around for 2 might be a bit greedy though, as Canyon. And Showmaker now coming in, but meanwhile on the top side of the map, Wonder's starting to feel very confident, trying desperately to force out the Cannon ultimate in a trade, just so that he knows.
I don't get why G2 didn't just keep forcing on the Cannon lane. They burned Flash early on Cannon. Renekton can keep roaming. That would put Jace in a really good spot. Let Ori and Alistar be independent.
Holding onto the Flash, holding onto the TP, and he's going to have his Proto Belt done here next time he bases, and will be set up incredibly well for that next team fight, potentially, around this Cloud Dragon that is going to be coming up in 2 minutes.
So one of the advantages that DAMWON find themselves with is that the Rise is now actually built up not only a massive experience advantage, being a whole level over Caps, but is also starting to build up a bit of a gold advantage. When we talked about DAMWON's scaling, not only do they have a really good teamfight comp, but their ability to play through the side lanes is also very strong, largely because of Showmaker. And he has been one of the best performing players on this team, not only in the group stages, but pretty much throughout the year for DAMWON. And I feel that if anyone is going to be the big swing factor in enabling DAMWON to equalize the series, it's going to be
the Rise versus Renekton matchup's getting worse and worse. Now Caps roams are really obvious on which timing.
Pressure is on G2 to execute, to find a way to snowball a larger lead, because on the opposite side, You have Kennen AP team fighting. It is so much easier for you to win in the late game. It's comparing that to the Orianna Shockwave. G2 have to find that multi-man.
They stabilize bot side also, they stabilize top side.
It's the classic Nuguri style. He's being very, very greedy. He went Klepto, he bought a Cull after dying for first blood. This is the kind of situation that allows him to catch up in gold, right? He is actually only about 150 gold
Kennen versus Jade completely stabilized.
2 kills, including a first blood, and Nuguri has nothing.
Ori Alistar won't have kill potential on Kai'Sa Leo. Kai'Sa out scaling. DWG's so happy right now for the game to be slow.
And on the opposite side, Wonder's like, I guess I'll build a defensive item to help me win this 1v1.
And G2's desperate to get something.
As well, I have to say that hold that is Perks will not get engaged on.
And I think the Hexdrinker is also looking forward later into the game when you realize, hey, it might be Showmaker all of a sudden coming into that side lane against you, and you're going to have to be able to deal with that rise. If you do go...
They are getting priority on mid because Alistar went perma Mia. So Showmaker couldn't clear the way he wanted to because he had to be scared of both Elise and Alistar ganking him. Ah, Nuguri didn't pay attention. Alistar with perma Mia, you have to back up here. When like Ori went Mia here and Ori rotated, the obvious other rotation is from mid lane to go to top lane. It was so obvious and Nuguri had to back up. There should have been calls made, Ori Mia and then mid side Mia, and then the dive being obvious.
Coming out for G2, but meanwhile, Nuclear and Barrel setting their sights on the bottom side. It might just be the trade 1-for-1 in terms of towers.
A lot of respect to Perks in this situation because he was left in isolation and he recognized where the pressure and power was. He knew that DAMWON would look to try and commit to this bot tower, so he moves up towards mid to act as the wave clear and threaten this tower while G2 make the play top. While they do trade in objectives, G2 come out ahead by grabbing themselves a kill.
And additionally now, you have a Kennen without an ultimate. TP's up, but he can't really TP to help a fight too much. Maybe can look to save one of the towers as G2 are putting down a lot of pressure, but Mickey trading his ult for the Kennen ult is very much in favor of
trading sides is completely fine for DWG. They're just scaling really well. Just the odd thing is Nuguri died where he shouldn't.
Went mid to put pressure on that tower because what that meant is Canyon was
there was a rotation play and Nuguri didn't read it, so he got doped.
Which would then essentially be turret for turret and a dragon for a kill.
I think DWG should be stronger in team fights now. They don't have to worry. Yeah, Renekton no Black Cleaver, Renekton no Shojin. Renekton's actually worthless. Renekton's just a meat shield.
Over Dragon in the pit though, looking to secure that cloud.
As a great man once said, you can't milk those. So Mickey ends up walking out to safety. DWG will end up securing a easy Cloud Drake. And we'll see now Caps be siphoned off into the side lane. He's been falling behind a lot in farm. He hasn't completed his first major item yet outside of boots, which means that he now needs to be funneled a couple more resources. With the teleport available and with the primary wave clear sitting on top of Perks, Perks is likely going to be the man that you keep in the mid lane with Wanda and Caps off on the side.
Age on the Perks, have to be careful though. He
actually should be fine. Yeah. Leon at 2 tanky. Ranked middle of everyone, but really can't do much.
And that's going to be the fight that DWG need.
Literally, the Renekton was middle of everyone. Just look at the Renekton. He's exactly where he wants to be, and he still can't get the damage output. He has no... Caps has no completed item 15 minutes into the game. He just has pieces.
Age on the Perks, have to be careful though. He can turn this one with a shockwave, but Mickey's getting slowly but surely getting chunked down.
So he's TPing in here, and he's on top of the Leo. Can't do damage to Leo, so he gets on top of Kai'Sa. Kai'Sa stopwatches, and then Kai'Sa flashes out. Renekton was middle of everyone, but he just couldn't do damage.
Has the dominance, but he's getting chipped away at, and that should be it. Caps getting burned through. Showmaker now on a killing spree as Wonder is in enemy territory. He needs to make his way out, but he spots Barrel in the jungle.
And what a fantastic collapse from DWG, recognizing that they can attack.
Well, how the hell did Wonder know he was there?
With their 5-man unit, it doesn't even cost Nuguri his teleport, but they show the power of their 5v5.
Let me try to explain Renekton to you guys. Renekton is a champion that falls off extremely quickly if he's not split pushing. So, ideal Renekton early game is you build a lot of waves and you dive with an Elise or Talia, and then after that initial dive, your mid lane has prio. And then you start diving as a 3, and then after that, you're in a side lane, split pushing with Shojins, and then you're taking 2v2s with your jungler.
And DWG has just set up this fight and executed it so incredibly well.
The map state was so good for
That's kind of like Renekton's ideal game plan.
and they were moving.
When Renekton goes mid, things get really weird really quickly. He needs to kill the mid laner or have complete prio and move around with his jungle to dive. Like, that's where Renekton becomes effective. Or you're playing Renekton into another melee champion and you're dominating that melee champion in lane. So it would be something like Renekton into Kassadin, that was like a counter pick that was pretty common. Or Renekton into like an assassin, like a melee assassin. I imagine people could try to do stuff like Renekton into Kiana.
Getting split up like that makes the Kai'Sa so powerful and definitely starts to outvalue the Orianna if she can find these isolated members.
I mean,
it's not Renekton himself that's really OP. I think it's Renekton in combination of Talia and Renekton in combination of Elise and Renekton in combination with Shojins that makes him OP.
Hasn't completed any core of his itemization, which means that DAMWON is not only so much stronger at this point in the game, but will only continue to
Run,
scale.
Nuguri.
And this can sometimes happen when you are playing Renekton. You want to go towards Shojin, but it can be hard if the game is really hectic and you're not picking up kills to get enough farm to get a good buy on that BF. So the BF buy came in so late, but you're going back for bases and you're like, well, I'm playing this early game.
Who's going to handle Ryze in the side lane? Not the Jace.
Sort of power, and that's why he ended up with these extra pieces, just because he felt like
any champion that has to jump on the Ryze to beat the Ryze cannot beat him.
Now, and we'll have the opportunity with that level 2
so like champions like Jace, champions like Yasuo even have a really hard time versus Ryze because of the Q EWQ combo, like chunks you for half and gives Ryze so much movement speed, and then Ryze just waits for the cooldown.
Dead even up until that exchange in the mid lane. Now things are going to get a lot easier for
it's not the EQ is for team fight. When you're in a side lane, it's Q EWQ. That's really brutal.
They can just sit back, continue to scale. The items are coming through very nicely for them. A lot of their members
they can EQ off the wave, but that really isn't like the problem. It's a Q EWQ. That trade is so brutal.
That could allow G2 back into the game because they know they will outscale. They'll know that they will keep winning these 5v5.
That one just keep taking it slow. Probably waiting on third item, Kai'Sa.
They will slowly get to a point where they become impossible for G2 to stop.
Of course, always the hope for the 3-item Orianna plus Alistar combo. The dream will be G2's get out of jail free card if they make it late enough into the game. But then again, it all comes down to execution, and it has been a story of inconsistency for G2 thus far in the tournament.
We do know that one pick can change the game, just like last time. It felt like DAMWON.
Finally, Shojins was so late. Shojins 20 minutes into the game. Ryze 2 items, Kennen 2 items, Kai'Sa 2 items. The Renekton's out of game.
Monumental advantage for G2, and they do have the playmaking to try to.
Renekton cannot participate.
But DAMWON certainly sitting in a controlling spot right now. They have the dragons in their advantage. They have just set up these team fights so incredibly well, and they are looking pretty bulletproof in this last 10-15 minutes.
I think that DAMWON's next bet will be to set up vision control around the Baron. While they could look to make a play for the Cloud Drake, I don't think it's.
I'm not sure what G2 can look for. DAMWON can just scale for G2. Trying to think. Godly team fight where they delete nuclear with Renekton stun, like probably like Alistar engage or Elise engage onto Kai'Sa, and they're like able to instantly get Kai'Sa and then they can win a team fight after.
Don't take any gambles. Be patient. Take your time.
And I think we can take some time to talk a little bit about these teams and the journey that they have kind of had here. DAMWON coming all the way from.
I think it'll be really hard.
This incredible run, but also the ramp up within the tournament. When people saw them in play-in, people were not as impressed. We're thinking that they weren't executing properly in some of these games. They even dropped the game there. But throughout the group stage, this team has gotten better and better and better, and it really does feel like they are now transitioning what we have seen from them and heard about in scrims to the stage.
And while game 1 was rough, if they win game 2, we can call it a blip on the radar. They have been so incredibly good. You see the goal difference, you see the record, the KD impressive as well. 12-2 so far in the tournament. Despite some questionable performances in play-ins, they have been getting better and better as we've moved on.
And I do think that is pre this series, right? So they do have one additional loss, so it should be 12-3 now. But DAMWON certainly putting up a very tough fight here for G2. Who
Nuguri's playing so much more conservative now. Not getting caught, thank God.
And we're coming into Worlds really as one of the big 3 that people.
Wow, I'm really getting a different read on DAMWON than I used to.
And these were the teams that were meant to reign
supreme. I thought Nuguri was better.
Did not have the kind of run that they were.
I thought Nuguri is one of the primary carries.
They did not get that first seed.
They won so much games off of Nuguri playing well in side lanes and LCK. Like they did a lot of 1-3-1 where Nuguri Canyon would win a lot of 2v2s, or Nuguri would like start winning a 1v2 and Canyon comes and finishes up.
Catching as much farm as they can. Orianna looking to get a few more items under her belt. Renekton getting closer and closer to a bit more CDR. The Black Cleaver to shred through some of what the enemy team is bringing, but Rise, I mean,
or LCK top's bad now? Not really. Con's playing well this tournament.
It feels impossible to win 1v1.
Sword wasn't the right LCK top. Griffin's top isn't Sword. Griffin's top is Dorian. He didn't get to play. Keen is still really good.
I'm thinking about like what G2's next window even is, because we've talked so much about how DAMWON, they don't.
It's like Keen.
They don't need to overextend.
Con.
Just keep some vision around the Baron area. Just keep catching.
That's it. Keen Con.
Get 3 items.
Nuguri, I still think Nuguri's a good player. He's just so inconsistent and so risky.
Look for a pick on a side lane.
Summit, yeah, Summit.
Someone out of position, but even doing that is very difficult because as you can see, DAMWON group up
The Shy
at a minimum when forcing these plays, and here comes the
Rumor.
The Shy is a Korean top laner.
Has to go as fast as his little Orianna P can carry him.
Stop chasing.
Will cost him his flash.
So a signature DAMWON play is get control and then 5-man ult to a Baron and take Baron. Because DAMWON always has damage dealers in jungle. They always have 4 damage dealers, so it's a signature DAMWON play. Get control, push out lanes, and 4-man Rise ult to Baron.
They will be able to get to safety. DAMWON now forcing him back will be able to move up through the river though and clear out all of that vision coming out from the side of G2.
I'm sorry, I don't know why that got me. This little Orianna P just go.
I almost called him Kyson. I had to swap at the last second, and it's funny to watch someone flash away at full health from a Kaisa Void Seeker.
But it's the right choice.
It is the right choice, yeah.
Dead.
You're instantly dead, but it's just not on its own a very threatening ability.
And I agree with you, Vedius, completely. It's going to be about the picks for G2. It has to be because they don't have a threatening Baron comp. It's not as though they can just burn that down because you're missing something like a Cassio.
G2 can't feed anywhere.
I think they're going to get engaged on right now. You can see Nuguri looking for the flank, but good
Nuguri flank angle. Dragon in 140.
DAMWON from committing to that. But now they have control over their sideways. Both bot and top are being pushed in. And again, it just looks like DAMWON going to continue buying their time.
Very aware of the flank, and it's interesting to see what DAMWON can do from here. Now, something we talked about earlier, Vedius, was they were very good when they played against IG about punishing mistakes in the opposite team. And they're in a position where, as you said, there's no pressure on DAMWON to do
DAMWON has 4 stopwatches.
The question is,
well, they should be so ready to fight. I'm not sure why DAMWON's delaying this. After that Earthdrake, they should be really ready to rush Baron.
What I think is we see Showmaker moving into the bot lane. I actually quite like this adaptation from DAMWON. Send 2 people bot because you know you can't afford to overextend top to try and guarantee pressure. And with Matin spawning in about a minute's time, it guarantees you numbers advantage to be able to force vision in the bot side of the map to set up for this objective.
And these are why they're making these plays, because they also know what G2 win condition is, right? It's going to be about picking someone off. It's going to be about maintaining vision and fighting around these wards that you have established. So DAMWON is just going to kind of shove out waves and then wait until they have information on where the G2 members are, and then go with what is an equal or greater number than what G2 can have in that spot. And that is what we have seen from them over this last 5-6 minutes, playing around mid lane and trying to do it incredibly carefully, knowing that as the clock gets later and later into the game, they're in a better spot.
And just take Dragon, and then after that, it's going to be a Baron rush.
Peak condition. He's primed. He's ready. He's ready to run a marathon.
Peak performance looks like.
He's ready to run an Olympic.
Oh, this game really is slow.
He's ready. He's got all the tools in his kit. He's been building up to this moment for 25 minutes.
I thought it'd be much faster
so
too.
if we're going to see any action, if we're going to see any kind of...
Because they have champions like Rise Kai'Sa, they should have rushed Baron so much earlier. I mean, I can understand them playing safe, especially after that shaky first game.
I feel like they're fine. Just chilling.
Yeah, but like...
But this is the time.
Now they have Dragon, they can push out mid and then look for Baron.
No one wants to fight a 6-item Orianna, especially when she has a Zhonya's. If I'm Nuclear right now, I'm like, nice mage, bro, because you know how much stronger you are with these 3 items. So, like, if I'm DAMWON, I'm thinking, okay, we're super strong right now. We have a cannon, level 15. He's got 3 items. He's ready. The Rise just finished the Void Staff, so let's go down.
They should do Baron soon. Let's calm down.
It's important for G2 in this series. We'll hold that thought. Gage potentially going to come in. Rumor Coming into the mid lane, a lot of members going in.
Starting with Leo going on Ali.
Goes off to the side, trying to stop Nuguri from getting into the midst of the fight. It's going to be a big cannon. All the Nuguri can get in, but he's setting his sights on the jungler. It might not be enough. Perks locked up. Goes gold, buys a bit of time. Shockwave can use it.
Rank just feels so worthless.
Not be enough. DWG Gaming though slowly getting chipped away. Yanko's trying to force the retreat. Acceleration gate coming out. The ward going to make sure that he can get to safety. The flash forward from Cannon. He's going to get the kick.
Rise, Leaf Flash, and they only got All-Star.
Massive Acathian rain to find the kill.
Wonder trying to make the hero play there to take down the
If Wonder killed Kai'Sa, yeah, it prevents the Baron. That's why they did it.
Forcing the fight here. G2 just group up as 5 and say, well, we got to try something. They look to push on this mid lane turret. DAMWON wipes them off the map, and they will claim Baron.
We talked about it. They were ready to run the marathon. They had everything they needed to fight, and they found it. G2 gave them the opportunity into the mid lane, and they do not waste it. The run warp used from the Rise to bring everyone into the mid lane. At this point, G2 are thinking, ooh, can we punish them? Can we catch them? No, they don't want to overcommit. Immediate flash in.
Here, just look at Caps.
Yes, he gets knocked up.
He uses everything on Leona. His first rotation went on Leona. And Nuguri, even though Jankos went on him, he's able to go in, get the good ult, force the Zanya. And then Caps' second rotation also went on Nuclear. Or went on Nuclear instead of Barrel this time. But yeah, that's the problem. Like, Renekton used full rotation and he was able to get on the right targets. But even when he was on the right targets, like he did no damage.
Maybe G2 can swing the fight in their favor, but after he's down, DAMWON have nothing that they have to be afraid of.
Yeah, he probably didn't have a good opportunity
really wanted to take down Nuclear, but it was a good flash on the two of the skies there.
That was an okay ult from Nuguri, considering that Jankos was on him from before.
You can get out and maybe you can prevent them from getting the Baron, but DAMWON now in full control, send the Rise out to the side lane. It looks like they want to go for more of a 1-4, focus on 2 lanes right now, try to push in, clear out some of these tier 2s, and really extend the gold lead to unstoppable levels.
G2 just have to do what they can to hold on. Their only reliable source of wave clear. Hold that thought. They might just be going in on the cannon. That's a TP now coming in. A good kick to disengage. Caps has already used the ultimate. DAMWON can just back off, and now G2 suddenly look a lot less threatening. Nuguri has the ultimate up and available, trying to catch G2 if they walk back down the mid lane. He will use that Baron-empowered recall to back off. He does have the TP up and available. He is now trying to flank. G2 walk back to the river, but they're going to be walking to the waiting hands of Nuguri. This is going to be disaster. Perks looking to get done with the shockwave, but it might not be enough. He goes up. He tries to buy a bit more time.
This fight's not good. This fight's not good.
Set in the sights of Nuclear, and that should be it. Wonder on the backside trying to turn it, but Nuclear finds himself on his lonesome, but no!
Oh my god.
But it is not enough! And G2
wait, you had Baron. What the fuck?
Maybe he can make the hero play. Maybe he can turn this, but Wonder's chasing him down. That's going to be at the cannon. No ulti left to smack away. Nuguri will find the retreat. G2.
How is this fight this bad?
He will use that Baron to power.
Starting on Wonder. Wonder knocking back Lee. Barrel going in. Dodge or EQ. That's really good. Canyon can't do much. Mickey on the other side. Nuguri needs to get Caps. Oh my god. He's going for the wrong target. He's on top of Renekton and he's not getting his damage on Caps. Ride gets chunked here. Perks banning Stopwatch. Perks had to burn Stopwatch initially where Nuguri went on it. But instead of Nuguri going on Perks, he went on Caps. Canyon got, killed by Wonder there. Holy shit, that EQ. What the fuck? Wait, what the fuck? He's at like 900 HP. What? Oh, Ori Ball also. Okay. Oh, it's because they didn't get the initial finish on Orianna. Nuclear has to ult like this. Ori bought so much time with Stopwatch. I think Nuguri fucked up this fight.
I want Nuguri though. Maybe he can make the hero play. Maybe he can turn this, but Wonder's chasing him down. That's going to be at the cannon. No ulti left to smack away. Nuguri will find the retreat. G2 will find the fight, but the 4-second recall will be enough. The cannon will make it out to safety.
Huge win.
Nuguri's actually so disappointing.
Staying alive in this game. It's the Baron buff. It's the 4 dragons on the side of DAMWON, as well as a huge gold lead. It's Caps without even having an ultimate, and they somehow make this miracle happen. Wonder with a good disengage on the immediate engage there from the Lee Sin in this Axe Gaming, what's your
Ryze can't approach.
as Nuguri flying in on top, but
the whole point of, like, if you guys look, Ryze has full mana, right? He's only shot 1 Q. The kind of the flower and like a really good Ryze team fight is how much QW EQs you can get. It's not about EQ. It's about how much QW EQs you can get and getting that speed up in team fight and being able to be really speedy and root a target and get that nice like damage combo in. He hasn't been able to get that combo once yet, and like the fight is well like on its way.
Shockwave catches 3 from Perks, and I think this is so intelligent for Perks.
Or QEWQ, my bad. Not QWQ, QEWQ.
Gets back to the rest of his squad.
Yeah, it's QEWQ that Ryze has to use a lot to get his passive bonus and also to get guaranteed damages on target.
Positioning from Perks in that fight is really what allowed G2
in the early part of the fight, he was like stuck in the back, like just shooting Qs, and he was their most fed member, and he wasn't able to do anything.
Shockwave that it pretty much ripped DAMWON in half, and we're now seeing how this comp from G2 is supposed to work. If Perks can land his abilities, if he's able to get the damage off, then G2 have a chance of turning this game back in their favor, but it requires fantastic execution, and with the flash now unavailable for Perks once again, you imagine that that was just a bad fight from DAMWON, and they're going to be waiting for the next Baron buff to spawn. They can continue to keep scaling up. You can see now that Nuclear has a GA.
If you're really good, you can QEQ, QWQ. No.
Is incredibly strong.
In pro level play, you need that movement speed bonus to be able to kite around the fight.
Play plus 45 gold.
45, we'll take it.
Still slightly positive. 2 seconds
It's
sooner
a win.
Would have been a minor negative, but as you said, execution. And this is something that we know G2 for domestic.
Oh, I hate this noise. Dun 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 dun.
They are playing well when they're playing at their top level. However, it does not get easier. Wonder, of course, though, has to be respected more in the fights to come. Perks bought the space, Wonder dealt the damage. It was a good fight for G2, but now they're still in the process of clawing their way back into the game. It is still a massive deficit. It is still 5 Drakes on the side.
If you can go QEQ, you get Faith Rush.
We may see DAMWON.
But you have to land skill shots to get that. It's really hard.
You know, wait for these next major objectives. You have 5 dragons.
It's QEWQ that is like the primary Ryze team fight combo, just due to the guaranteedness of it.
Because good scaling or not, if you have a poor engage against a team of this caliber like G2, they can punish you. They can take you down. And DAMWON is going to have to be really, really careful that they're checking all the boxes, that they're making sure it is the perfect fight to engage on, because if you lose a fight this late in the game, it can be massively punishing.
I will also say that Wonder, a player that we haven't really talked about much this game, is still very strong. He's where all of the gold sits on right now for G2, and if he's able to find a very similar 1v1 like he did against the Lee Sin, we saw how quickly he just melted through that target. And so in these long, drawn-out fights, he's not a character that you can afford to underestimate, because he's still very powerful, still very strong. But as you were saying, Azael, DAMWON's setting up around the Baron. They don't need to overforce right now. They're just going to get their vision down, go back to base, reset, restock on all the wards, and then they'll come back out onto the map. And as G2 try to clear, they have to invest their vision to clear out all of the newly fresh wards that DAMWON will have available to them. So this area is going to be very dark for G2 to try and approach.
Will be tough for them, but there is some good news on the side of
I will say G2 winning, the game feels so different from like DAMWON winning. G2 winning is like action, 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 and it's like put enemy in awkward spot, force them into answering difficult questions. DAMWON winning is like we're stronger, and we're like slowly getting into position. Like we'll wait for Baron, we'll wait for Earthdrake.
You can just instantly die. And if one member gets wiped off the map,
it's not European macro, it's G2 macro. No other team in Europe plays like G2. And in a sense, no other team in the world plays like G2.
But this is it. All of that will not matter if they can pull off a single good fight, or if a fight turns against them as G2. They know that the Baron is happening. They're going to lay down a bit of vision. They know this one is getting closed out. Jankos wants to find a way into the pit. 4K, but Nuguri may have found the flank. G2 moving further and further.
Mickey X has really good formation. Here, the two people we need to look at, Nuguri and Mickey X. Mickey X with incredibly good position. Nuguri with incredibly good position. Whoever plays better is going to dominate this fight. Nuguri versus Mickey.
In the push. It's all about what he can get done. Mickey trying to flank on this one, but the cannon now leaping to the back.
Oh my god, this is such a good engage. What happened on Mickey's end?
It's all about what he can get done. Mickey trying to
oh, he got kicked. The Mickey's engage got fucked, and Nuguri got a god tier engage. Wait, he didn't stopwatch.
The cannon is dead. Perks is still alive. Caps is still alive.
He got the God tier engage and he didn't stopwatch.
But Nuclear and Showmaker are untouched, and this will not be enough. DAMWON Gaming are cleaning this one up. Perks does massive damage, but Showmaker stepping forward. This is the rise. Perks buys a bit of time, but it will not be the difference maker. He cannot, or can he make it out to safety? DAMWON win the fight.
And it's DAMWON who has the better execution. The damage coming out from Nuguri was just so monumental because he caught pretty much every member of G2 outside.
Damn, when a cannon gets engaged like that, just Kai'Sa Rise will clean up so easily.
Showmaker and Nuclear were left untouched.
This is what I mean, like positioning being so important, right? It doesn't matter if cannon had more items or less items, just he can get in that position because the team is ahead and they can get good vision control.
Immediately hard engage on the other members on G2.
Positioning.
So quickly and so intelligently. So we can watch this one more time. As soon as Mickey shows, Canyon goes straight.
Like, if G2 is ahead, they are never in a situation where they have to go into DAMWON.
To him, kicks him out. The rest of the team.
Oh my god, Caps flash stunned that. Holy shit. I was like, why didn't he get the stopwatch off? Okay, he didn't get the stopwatch off because Caps played like a god there. He had 50 rage, flash stun immediately to make sure he can't get stopwatch.
Nuclear and Showmaker were untouched.
Showmaker just straight up 1v1 obliterates Caps. He turns him into boots almost immediately. Meanwhile, Nuclear on the backside is just left untouched. No one is threatening him. And if no one is getting onto these
that was insane reaction by Caps to flash stun Renek.
You know DAMWON is going to come out ahead on these fights every time, and this is what we kept talking about.
Who's the best duo in the at World right now? Caps Perks or Showmaker, or not Showmaker, Rookie the Shy. Would you rather have Caps Perks or Rookie the Shy?
Massive for the side of DAMWON. G2 need a miracle to come back in this one. They're stacking the brush. They're not going to find the engage there as Nuguri pushes down the mid lane. They can threaten the other Drake, but they can also push mid. They're putting DAMWON in the exact same situation that G2 put them in game 1.
I think like there's like every team has like 2 incredible duos right now. Like the Shy Rookie, Caps Perks, Faker Clid. Every team has like the pair, the twins.
And start establishing some area of control.
I think G2's best bet is to try and
join BTN.
You'll see that Nuguri is basing right now. He's gonna have his team.
Every team has the twins.
This ward, this very crucial ward.
I guess you could even go Tarzan, Chovy.
To TP flank onto. If he can come in from behind, then that is going to be what DAMWON used to force the fight.
Showmaker Canyon.
He has the GA.
We thought DAMWON Gaming had the triplets. We thought they had the Canyon, Showmaker, Nuguri triplets.
Who do you really target?
But little did we know.
Zonia's on the top laner.
Nuguri this game hasn't been that great.
You just land a 5-man shockwave, Azale. Easy. That's just what you do.
Caps has been spotted. He doesn't know it yet. Was spotted out by the sweeper there.
Did.
The ulti now coming in. They know that
Later,
the single pick can turn the fight for them. Caps can't really do anything else. Nuclear now on a rampage. DAMWON walking right into the Elder Dragon.
Ford and Joe.
And there's very little that G2 can do about this. They're just going to concede it. They're going to try and clear out some of the minion waves, making it harder for DAMWON to end this game. But they have a way to They also have the Rise ultimate to bring minions if they want to.
I mean, even summoning Inside has the twins that are carrying.
Left with very little left.
Locodoco.
Running out of time for that miracle. DAMWON set up to close with confidence. The super buff of Elder, 5-stack Elder nonetheless. Should be an easy fight for them to win. Mickey channeling the Hex Flash. Will not be able to get anything done, and it looks like they are going to have to give up at least this inhibitor. Mid lane should fall as well.
Face Check also has a really good twin. Locodoco.
Everything in the fight to come. But for now, it is just G2 backing off, giving up both those objectives.
G2 have no option but to give up those 2 inhibitors. If you fight at that point...
He didn't get into ultimate. I'm not sure if that was on purpose.
There is some brief glimmer of hope, but it's going to take a series of miracles.
This game's over. They're way too ahead. Rise Kai'Sa, they don't have tools to kill Rise Kai'Sa. Like the Rise Kai'Sa have to misplay so much for them to die in a team fight. They have to get hit by a random ass Elise Cocoon, followed up by All-Star Engage, and then like Renekton stun, and then Oriole.
Versus a hilariously fed Rise. And it just might not be possible for G2.
I mean, Nuguri's at a point where he has
Game's
too much
over.
money that he knows what to do with. He's just like, he's spending it on pots every opportunity he gets. He could probably just sell an item and rebuy something if he wants to. He is just so rich. Meanwhile, Perks is just barely like working on his 4th item, and like that difference is largely what's going to determine this game for DAMWON. The bright side for us is it means we get more games between these two teams, which I'm definitely excited for, because it's pretty much impossible for G2 to be able to turn this game around.
Team with leads doing nothing must be LCK. LCK has like...
Figure out what went wrong, talk about it, plan for the next game, and still hold out hope.
So I'll talk about some LCK terminology and like LCK playstyle. So this kind of playstyle is a very like coach heavy playstyle, right? And LCK is a region with LCK is a region where the coaches are the most powerful. I would say like LPL in Europe is a region where coaches and like players like have kind of equalish power, and then NA is a region where players have way more power than coaches in general. So I feel like in LCK you see a lot of like coach directed gameplay, which is like stuff like this, and like a really slow play and players not looking for a lot of outplay. There are exceptions. No, there are definitely exceptions. Like I think Griffin is like a great example that you guys brought up. CV Max definitely has a lot of control. Oh, actually, you guys were just meaning. CV Max doesn't have control because he got fired. But like, there's teams and regions that kind of break that rule, but that's like the generality.
So pretty big mistake, and while I somewhat have no
and also Nuguri getting caught again. Name a more iconic duo. Nuguri and getting overhyped and doing nothing while Showmaker and Canyon carry the game.
To be playing, too passively at this point, where there's so much room to grow for Caps, so much room to grow for Perks. If you let these guys hang around, build up their items, they're going to find opportunities just like that.
So far, the story of the game for DAMWON has been punishing the mistakes of G2, but now it is on them to take the initiative to end the game themselves.
And now the Baron is alive. G2 have 5 members. Perks is going to clear out top wave, and then he can TP in if he wants to, but they're not going to take the gamble.
I thought that was going to be the G2 play for sure. With a 5v4, G2 is the kind of team that plays to win, that will always take their shot. I thought that was going to be the shot that they would take this game, because with Nuguri coming back up, again, you're in this really disadvantageous position. There's many super minions stacked up in that bottom wave.
Now he's alive. He has TP as well.
Wow, this is bad. If they're in the pit, Mickey has flash. Flash WQ Ori knockup. Flash WQ Ori knockup.
G2 have to be careful about walking into the funnel. Perks is here.
Oh, I think they should have taken that fight.
Position. There's many super minions stacked up in that bottom wave.
Oh, Ori's far away. Fuck. Oh, Ori's far away. They had an opportunity. Here, if Ori's closer, this is so good. They're bunched up right here. They're next to Baron. Flash. W. Q. This would have been so good if Ori was nearby.
Ulti should be off cooldown shortly. G2 have to be careful about walking into the funnel. Perks is here.
Caps also no TP.
Challenge.
Wow, very surprising. I thought that considering the situation that G2 was in, they would just take that gamble and force the fight in the very small window that they had. But
Caps and Perks were too far away for them to look for that. I think that was probably the best fight they could have gotten.
Another minute's time, so maybe G2 were just hoping to...
Maybe they get a better chance later, but I'm pretty sure that was the best chance they could have gotten. DWG would all just flash out.
I feel like
that's fine. And also, you can chase them while they're flashing out and take the free Baron. Like, that would have been so good for them to get that engaged if Ori was nearby.
But that may have been their highest percentage play to actually take this game, right? If you rush that 5v4, if you can actually get some kills on DAMWON, take the Baron, hey, maybe you have a shot. But Caps, he's building up. He's only 1 item off full build. Perks has completed another item here too. So if you can execute perfectly, maybe they can make something happen.
Still a lot of maybes. And G2's longest game up until this point was a little bit more than 34 minutes. Now they're already at 41, almost 42. Very long, very arduous process for DAMWON Gaming. Need to stop playing not to lose and need to play to win. Play to end this game on the back of this Baron buff.
The second Elder, though, is up in 50. And second Elder is really the GG buff, where it lasts so long, it does even more damage than that first one. So
one thing that is worrying is like how slow DAMWON is playing comparatively to G2. But it is like an LCK team doing LCK things. This is what I hate about LCK teams. I think LCK teams are actually really garbage about using Baron.
At what point will DAMWON really pull the trigger because they should be able
I think Fnatic and G2 have been the two best teams at snowballing. And FPX. Actually, I almost missed FPX. I think Fnatic, G2, and FPX have been the best teams about snowballing. IG is actually a garbage snowball team so many of the time. They get caught so often. IG plays fast, but they crash a lot. G2, Fnatic, and FPX have been the best team about snowballing.
Canyon, if they take out the jungler, this could be the difference. Trying to find the lockup, waiting for Canyon to
Kick.
go up, but now the rest
There
of
you
DWG
go.
Gaming, this is their permission to enter the base. They can enter, do so fearlessly. Canyon still alive. G2 fish for the play, but they will not find it. That's going to be an inhibitor going down. Mid and bot are still up. Keep your eyes on that Orianna ball. Where's it going to go? Can you find the multi-man shockwave? For now, DWG Gaming happy with a single inhibitor. It's on the
Elder
top
Dragon
side.
and then ends through bottom.
Set up
Holy
for a
fuck.
relatively easy, all things considered.
Oh my god, DAMWON, you're gonna need to take some chances.
Well, only one inhib goes down. There's still a minute left on the Baron, and of course, DWG, they will still have control, but it's one of those situations where they're not getting any stronger.
They will get a fight here, though. G2 must contest for this, and G2 looks like they want to fight Blasco. They're just going to try to rush this, but they're going to be in the pit.
Deny second Elder.
Not where you want to be.
Canyon fire away, Canyon fire away. Canyon fire away.
Here comes Nuguri, but he knows they're going to
Nuguri no flash either, Nuguri no flash either. Oh, this is dangerous, it's an Elder fight, Oh fuck, Ori ult was garbage, never mind.
It's too strong. She goes over the wall. It's free auto attacks. It's a clean sweep
for
the side of DWG Gaming. The TPs come in, and that's
that one was a hard one to win because they're in the pit versus a cannon. Even with like, it's a cannon and Rice, so Rice just goes EQ, 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 EQ.
Last-ditch effort, and unfortunately for them, it was not enough. DWG going to equalize the series.
DWG Gaming pushing through, small mistakes punished, and in the end, the game will be theirs.
Oof. Okay. I mean, nice try from G2. DWG didn't really give them any looks, but one thing that's a little worrying is like how slow DWG is playing and also Nuguri's performance. I think Nuguri's performance has been really off. But I am, on the other hand, really happy with how good Beryl and Nuclear has been playing. Interesting. Alright. Hopefully you guys enjoyed part 1 of my part 1 of my G2 versus DWG Gaming review. Bye.